Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
That was bumpy.
That
was bumpy.
I
gotta call it out. I gotta call it out.
Why do you have to call it out?
Because we are the most honest show on this radio station. We call it's warts and all radio. It's the way we've always done it. It's the way we've always done it.
But no one would have even caught it if you were just powered through.
They absolutely catch it. And you think they don't catch when our teeth whistle? Oh, they catch when our teeth whistle. I get emails.
Yeah, but why bring it up?
Do our guests? Any of our guests? Do your teeth ever whistle?
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. And sometimes I have a syllabus S.
Yeah, my teeth lately. I think it's when you get older, your teeth start to whistle.
Throwing those running dry S's.
Is that a sign of old age?
Oh, you know, I brought Flint Mints for everybody before we get started.
That'll wet your whistle.
Right, I'm here for you, Tom.
Is that or
in the case of whistling teeth,
the mints, the wet mints?
Yeah, the wet mints.
All right, I need a wet
I
mouth.
have it under
around.
good authority that Barack Obama uses these before he does speeches.
We need them.
Let me
Did
get
you
one
know
of those
that?
wet mints.
Yeah.
let's all apply. Let's all apply.
Yeah. Well, let me say who's here. We do have our guest. We do have Joe from Fairvilla
Morning.
Megastore.
Hello.
And you brought some guests.
It's so dead.
Yeah, you brought some people in here. Tell me, who'd you bring in?
Okay, so one of my favorite things about actually being on y'all show is the fact that I get to bring some of my favorite people with me. And these have become some of my favorite people. So we have, many of you guys know, we have a location. It's Secrets in Kissimmee, which is a lifestyle resort. Not only is it a lifestyle resort, can we just say premier?
Lifestyle.
They rolled out the red carpet for our team yesterday. We had a leadership meeting actually in Club Swingster, which is their destination
Club
dungeon.
Swingster?
All right, hold on. Joe,
Yeah,
You
there's
will
one.
never make it to Club
unpack.
Swingster. Look me in the eyes. You look me in the eyes right now. You will never make it to Club Swingster. You're not cut out for Club
I
Swingster.
love my life.
You're not Swingster material.
Oh, everybody's Swingster material.
Take your
Not
tiny
everybody does.
acorn ding dong and hit the bricks.
listen,
in our own way.
let's talk about the lifestyle because so Secrets Hideaway.
Yeah.
What's going on in there, Joe?
And that's double. I don't know if you know that, but that's double secrets. Secrets Hideaway.
Yes.
That's a double secret.
We're hedging our bets.
That's
here
not just
today,
one.
yeah?
It's a secret, and we hid the secret away. That's a double hidden secret.
Which is why we brought two people to talk about it.
Take your acorn ding dong and hit the brick. You get the hell out of here.
I guess you could have called it Swingers Hideaway, but then that gives away the
that's-
secret.
No, God, you're such an idiot.
Boys,
but
there's plenty of room for an acorn ding dong. So,
There might be a
Thank
real
you.
one in it already.
You know
Don't
what I'm
fall
saying?
into my trap.
Jordan, don't listen to him. He's
Any
crazy.
which way, we're solid at Secrets, and you guys are always more than welcome to come chill
So
with us.
fun.
Can you keep my secret that I had a hip replacement? I don't
Well,
want
they
anyone
know
to know
because
no,
I'm a
no,
walker.
I want to go and I want
And your
no one.
diaper.
I want to go and I want no one to know.
Well, we won't tell anybody else.
I want,
right?
and I
Yeah.
wrote a song about it. Here, I
No,
wrote a
come
song.
on.
We'll get him a blanket.
If you are
What happens on air stays
I
on
wrote
air.
a song. If you are handicapped and you still want to have sex,
Come on.
Why can't
because it's a big deal, I wrote a song for you, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Everybody quiet. This is a new song, Fairvilla Records. Here we go.
Handicapped people wanna have sex too, just like the blacks and the whites and the Jews. Handicapped people get boners too. What has two wheels and is filled with goo? Me! I'm filled with goo!
Come on.
He's filled with goo.
No, Jordan, I told you to stop.
I like the jingle. I'm not gonna lie. I'm in it.
He's not bad at that. Oh, I'm digging.
Me! I'm filled with goo.
All right. Okay.
We're at a really weird crossroad here, boys, because it just so happens Secrets Hideaway is looking for a new jingle, so we're gonna have to.
Hold on.
I'm sorry. The planets have aligned.
There's a
here this
man
morning.
yelling at the end. Yeah.
So, okay,
There's
I
a man
apologize.
screaming at the very end of the
This has
song.
gotten too crazy.
4 minutes in, I'm so excited.
So, Joe,
Yeah.
first I apologize. Second,
I don't even know what that
No
was.
need. I love it.
back to the lifestyle.
Yeah.
So,
Which handicapped people? are
tell
part
me,
of?
no.
They definitely are.
Tell me about the lifestyle in Secrets. Is it a clubhouse?
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you my side of
Tree
Secrets,
house.
and then I'm gonna introduce you to the inside of Secrets.
Pull
right?
the rope swing up.
So how we know
No
it,
girls allowed. This is butts only tonight, baby.
giving
I don't
new,
know how you get your
new
senses out, man.
definition to get better. Okay, so we have a location in Secrets Hideaway, which we have for about 20 years. It's an amazing partnership because they support. Are you guys familiar with hedonism in Jamaica?
I went there.
Yeah, we have both been there.
We have both
Did
been
you
there.
know that we
Yeah.
have something comparable in Kissimmee, 45 minutes away?
What? Kissimmee hedonism.
My pop-up knew it was coming. He told me.
My dad said that one day there will be a Kissimmee hedonism.
But he thought it would have to do with a lot more Puerto Ricans.
Oh, hey.
You guys are on a roll.
I'm half
Puerto
Puerto
Rican.
Rican. No, I'm just saying, that
Ryan?
was my pop-up's belief.
My last name was Rivera at one point in my
All
life.
in under 6 minutes.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, we go quick.
I
We go
feel
quick
they
in
have
here.
their
Show it's the
caffeine.
gas.
We only have 20. We only have 20.
I like
We're
it.
catching up.
So
All right,
Kissimmee hedonism.
Yeah, so here's what I did. So we have a location there. We want to support anyone and everyone, and we love the idea that we can support Central Florida in such a way.
Yep.
So, to make it really fun and exciting, over the last year, this is the promo team for Secrets. Jess and Jordan, are they the cutest thing you've ever seen in your whole entire life?
Aw.
And they work a pool party like nobody you've ever seen. And so I wanted them to come and kind of share the inside secrets of Secrets.
The inner scoop, eh?
Right, right?
Okay, all right. So how do you
You've been
even...
dreaming of this day. I won't even.
You're
I'm not even
welcome,
going to
Tom.
say any jokes or anything. I'm just going to
Well,
let
it
just going to sit back and let this be.
And before we get into it, I just want to explain.
This is where you
myself.
ruin it. Why do you got to explain yourself?
No,
Just let him explain it.
No, well, because everybody assumes that I somehow am like obsessed with the swinger lifestyle.
I want y'all to
and
know
want-
this is a very typical conversation with anybody.
This guy-
a lot of ums and uhs.
This guy, all he does is complain about having no sex, and all he does is baby oil and bick his pubes. That's all he does. He's like the
Stop.
football player that never gets in the game.
No.
Always wearing the pants,
Yeah,
always
so-
shaving his pants.
I'll get in once, like Rudy.
But there is a league minimum for pay, right? There's a league minimum,
What
so
do you make it?
he's cruising. He's cruising.
23,000 a year.
I'll get
He's
in
a
one time.
He's a high-paid arena football quarterback.
I'll sack it good like
I
Rudy
love it.
did. I'm sorry. So how do you even get involved in Secrets? Is it a
a good
membership? Do you just show up? How tell
I'm
us.
gonna give
wanna
this
hit-
to you guys.
Yeah, Jess, you know what? Why don't you hit this? How we kind of break down our membership and how we do our things.
Okay, sure. So we do have day and night passes, and then you do have to have a membership.
Okay.
So you can do a membership either like a 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or a year.
Day passes are for uggos, right?
No.
So now the coolest part
That's how
of that,
strip clubs work. That's an honest
Well, you're right.
question.
The coolest
dude.
part of
that
that-
is an honest question. All strip clubs, day shift, night
come
shift.
on.
Yeah.
the day and night
That's
pass is a
strip
great
club.
way to kind of come on in and see a vibe without, like saying, okay, you might not be sure you even want to come back, which is a thing. And that's totally a real thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You might
yeah.
come in and be like, hey, this is my cup of tea, or it isn't. So we try to do a really
I want to
great.
come back.
Yeah,
I already know I want to go.
that's usually what we're going for, right, Jess?
It's kind of like tacos. I
Or
already
for you
know
to
I
get a
want
room.
3 of
That's
them.
right. That's right. So continue with how we do our things.
So we definitely want y'all to just check it out because it is a little scary. You hear the word lifestyle, you're like, oh my gosh, what does that mean? Does that mean I have to get naked in front of people? Does that mean I have to have sex in front of people? Absolutely not. It's only if you want to. It's your journey. Maybe you just like to be naked. Maybe you just like to watch. We encourage all the things at Secrets Hideaway, and there's a place for you.
It's my journey, Tom. And you're not going to
listen.
ruin it with your garbage.
Yeah.
If
Jordan.
I want to tie him up purple,
Yeah.
I'm tying him up purple.
While Jess was talking, Jordan reached over and started caressing Jess's
Yeah.
leg, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God,
Yeah,
it's
they're gonna
happening!"
do it. I've seen these on Pornhub.
It's happening.
I've seen this. It's a guy, because I got VPN. It's a guy who's doing a podcast, and then the porn stars are like, he's interviewing them while they're doing it. And he's like, how does that feel? I'm weird for asking you that, aren't I?
Okay.
You know what, guys? Actually, the coolest part about Jess and I, too, in addition to having this amazing job at Secrets, being able to work with an amazing team and literally being what we feel is like the Ellis Island of lifestyle, where we get
well
so
said.
many diverse types of
I think
lifestylers.
it's exactly the same.
That's really what it is. Not that we're like the number one thing out there, but like we get so many people coming in so many different types of atmospheres.
Do you change your name when you reach the mainland? Right? You come home what will my sex lifestyle name be?
You can have an
I was
alias.
I feel
Giovanni,
like some people
but
do.
now I'm Hank.
Definitely.
This is a whole topic. There's a whole topic in the BDSM community
Yeah.
called alters, and that's a huge. What you were just talking
What's your
about
name?
is people do have an alter personality or persona
What's
that
your
they
name,
kind
Tom?
of channel, and they
Mine's a little weird. It's Watermelon Hopkins.
I'm Rumpelstiltskin.
All right, Rumpelstiltskin and Watermelon
Now, let me
Hopkins.
say, both
we
both
sound
these
like
names-
racehorses.
Both the names are incredible, gentlemen. I think we
Thank
should
you.
these are
We've
great
been-
names.
We're
Yeah, we
born
just
for
got
that.
up-leveled, right?
And
We're born for
I call Jordan Daddy.
That's
Hey,
right.
Okay, all
I
right.
knew that with
See,
the caress.
So what I was getting to, gentlemen, and Jess has kind of alluded to, is that in addition to us working together, we also are together. So as a
So
little
we're
1-2
Tom
punch.
and I.
There you go.
Make up as a shot.
I had a feeling. I had a feeling.
Podcast leading to a lot of
In
crazy
fact, as
things,
soon
boys.
as
You
you're
know what I
out
mean?
the door, it's 69 wild in here, man. It's crazy.
Do you record that or is that extra?
Right.
In
Yeah,
fact,
that's
we've-
membership only.
I don't know if you've known this, but we might have a record. We've 69 for 4 hours.
Oh my
That's why his
goodness.
hips are bad. So,
Dude, I feel like we have 2 new stand-up comedians for our
broke
comedy
I
shows
know,
Broke my
seriously.
that
hip.
we do.
Broke my
you
hip.
know?
Oh,
So,
we should do a
okay.
podcast out there.
so you could just show up, and now who is there? Okay, but let's talk about because I've been to
love
hedonism.
That's a great question too because
Dwight Howard is-
so officially at Secrets we all sign non-disclosure agreements. So we're actually as a business,
you serious?
Dead
Okay.
serious.
Absolutely.
So everybody who comes to
You think,
us,
you think this is a game, man?
Why do you
I
think
want
it's
to
called
slap
a
your
Secrets
face.
Hideaway?
I want to slap your face and,
And
be
the
like,
security is
what
on
the
point.
hell do
Well-
you think this is, dude? You think this is some sort of amateur hour game?
well, it's cool because
Secrets, dude.
Exactly, and one of the things that people don't realize is that we are a true private event. So when you do come to our property, although it is, it looks like a resort complex. You know, it has all the rooms, everything. It is a true private event. So when you come through, you know, we take this very, very seriously as far as privacy, people playing in a safe, consensual, and honest, play area where you all, if you're coming into our world to have a good time, us, myself, Joe, Jess, extensions of Secrets Hideaway, we're on the lookout to make sure that this is just an amazing experience.
All
for you.
jokes aside,
You
it's
know?
like, that's the most important part is the privacy
Correct.
aspect of it.
Absolutely.
So,
Correct.
yeah, you could ruin
All right.
everything by
So-
just not, taking that seriously.
Let's just walk through a scenario.
Sure.
So
being a
like,
douche.
Don't make it weird.
Let's
That's
say-
what I was going to say. We're being a douche.
Well,
You know,
honestly,
bad behavior
you
can ruin
can
a
make
good
it
time.
as weird because to us, I mean, there's no
Well, I'm
weird
not gonna
anymore.
kink
You
shame
know?
you.
So,
I
I won't
right,
kink
Jeff?
shame you, I promise.
I mean, ain't no weird in our life
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
So Jordan
Yeah.
and Jess, so let's say me and my
But
wife.
someone could make it weird.
I'm
not making it weird.
You know,
No,
You make it
no,
a little bit weird.
no.
but it's our job to say there's no such thing.
I mean, the fact that you loosened your belt up before you
No,
started
I'm
going
excited
into
about
your...
that. Tom's weird as fun.
This guy's about to launch his penthouse forum across the bay here.
I'm just awkward. I like comedy and chainsaws.
Comedy's back.
Back to
everybody.
Tom and his wife.
Yeah, comedy's back.
That's what I'll announce when I walk into Secret. So let's say I convince my wife to go to Secret.
I heard a tooth whistle, by the way. Point that out.
And maybe I get a day pass. Do I get that online? How does that
You
work?
get it at the
Like,
gate.
Do I call?
You get it at the gate. It's just like
How do
a
I get
state
it?
park.
So you can do it online, absolutely. Just save your confirmation code and then show that when you come to the front desk. We also want to make sure everything's on the up and up, so we do check your driver's license, make sure you're good to go.
Oh, I have to have a valid driver.
You got to make sure that you're.
Yeah.
You're
You're doing
gonna
nothing
suspend
if
your
You've
driver?
got to at least
Hey.
appear like you're a decent human,
You
ladies and
take
gentlemen.
your
You know?
toll running acorn D out of here.
Yeah. What can I say? Like, if it is suspended, can I give you a valid reason why? And then maybe you accept me.
I
He's
gotta
like, I
tell you,
swear it was just a
they're-
parking
Well,
ticket.
You're not
It
gonna
was just
go
a parking
before
ticket.
the high council. He wants to go before the high council and like beg for
Will a
his...
medical
to-
marijuana card work?
Oh my god! I want to pull this back just to say that there's no way that Fairvilla would be involved if this wasn't a high.
Right.
End.
No, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
We're talking 20
So-
years,
Well, yeah,
Right.
so-
I mean, yeah. Well, and when
long time.
when we started our partnership with them, it was not what it is now.
Oh, definitely
We
not.
took a big step of faith with the James. We love them so
It was
much.
just a
and
tent. It was just a tent and one man and a guitar.
But
You're
we-
actually not wrong. Not wrong.
It's
Secrets
so
Highway is
true.
like about 15 years
Yeah.
of repackaging
Yeah.
what lifestyle was at the time,
Right,
what we
right.
think it should be, and for a while there really wasn't much direction because it was kind of tough to get a whole team of 50 or 60 people that are lifestyle minded that, hey, okay, I can get up there. Like, so
that
for
are
myself
ugly
as a
old
DJ,
people. I'm
I
reading
might-
between the lines. You had to get all the ugly old guys
There's
out of
some
there so
gray
you
area,
guys
you
could have some fun.
hey, we got room for
There's
everybody.
places
I was
for
saying, not
everyone here.
necessarily. That place is so diverse and inclusive. It is an amazing
Right.
spot to spend
Yeah,
a
from
weekend
like
by the pool.
20-something-year-olds to 70-something-year-olds.
I'd watch that.
Everybody, it's body positivity.
I watch that
sex
now.
positivity.
I
But
watch it
old
live.
DeJour.
Yeah.
But think about it.
Yeah, I love Blue Pill Men, Old DeJour, Fix the bike, no money.
Yeah. It gives me hope for the future.
But there's also certain things that we think about too that we try to look at as a community and as secrets. Is that, hey, if you're coming in, you're let's say you're a DJ or you're a line cook or you're going to help us out with our front desk.
Amateur.
It's all great that you can jump in and kind of do these jobs, but now, hey, how's your heart? How's your head?
Nice.
Can you jump into the lifestyle frame?
You don't
of
have the
mind?
heart for anal, Tom.
And you might have somebody come up to you that is part of a throuple where they're actually married to
we
one
know a
person.
throuple.
And
We know a throuple. Yeah,
And
they
you-
thrive.
Right, they sure
Those
do.
people are killing it.
Hey, listen, the whole poly field and the whole poly topic.
Culture.
Yeah, it's popular now, right?
It's a very big
you
thing
see
right
it
now.
everywhere, I feel
right.
like, yeah.
So you're getting a little bit more than just the typical married couple or
Yeah.
dating one-on-one kind of scenario at Secrets. It could be anything.
Is it a weird? Are we not weird because that's negative, and I don't want to make it negative.
No,
is
you're good.
Is there like a almost like a sexual revolution or something going on right now? It seems like
Ladies,
that-
what would you say to that?
yeah. What would you
Because guys
guys-
are just
I feel
we're
like
horny
there's,
all the time.
I feel like
so.
there's a transparency. I think again that's one of the reasons why we have stepped to the forefront to remove the stigma of sex. Everyone is doing it. Let's have a good time doing it. Let's be healthy while we do it. Let's enjoy one another. Let's speak life into one another. Let's do it well. Let's not have it hurt. Let's do it till we're old. Let's do it while we're handicapped. Let's do it when we lose a leg. That's what we're trying to do here.
I'll play the song again if you want. So your scenario, you and Crystal get there.
Yes.
You walk into the main entrance.
Our lobby area,
You have
yeah.
your
Okay.
pass. You say, you greet everybody. I don't know. You probably go over, get a finger sandwich and a Sprite.
Do I put a name tag on?
No.
So we actually have wristbands that we
yeah.
put on everybody
What
for
was
the
your
day.
name again?
Rumpelstiltskin.
Hello, I'm Rumple.
But the other cool part is so if you've never been there, we have days that are dedicated to our newer personnel, newbies. Yeah, exactly. Our newer people that come to Secrets. Those are usually our Wednesdays and our Thursdays. Our Thursday is technically our newbie night, and we encourage anybody who has never been in a lifestyle situation. Maybe you're curious. Maybe, hey, we've been married for 20 years and we want to spice up the relationship.
Sure,
it could
yeah.
be anything.
Oh, that's me.
There you go.
I'm just saying.
I'm just gonna
exactly.
keep. Tom, I'm gonna keep hitting categories in a second.
that is
If I hit you with
exactly-
something, man, you just pick. That's it. That's the one.
That is you.
Yeah, it seems like almost some sort of sentence at this point.
Yeah.
Jail
of,
where it's like if I could
jail, if you
only
will.
find a doo-doo pipe to crawl out of, I'll be free.
Yep, that's one a show.
Anyway, okay.
Yeah, no, but I was saying, so Secrets Hideaway does a really good job of taking days like that and kind of embracing all the newbies and saying, hey, you're going to come out on these 2 days. We're going to show you all the ins and outs of our property, everything from Club Swingster, our amazing dungeon that we have on property, to our
Hold on, a dungeon?
a
What-
BDSM, a true
That's
BDSM
what I was
dungeon.
talking about.
All right.
Club
And it's a
Swingster.
true one. This is like, how Seth Petrozelli has a true, real dojo.
Tom realizes that we need more
This
than
is
20
a
minutes.
Real,
He's like, we need more than 20 minutes
this
on this
is
topic.
a straight,
definitely.
real dungeon, man. This is a traditional style.
Okay, so what's in the okay? Well, this is back to me in the lobby. I'm in the lobby. I get my wristband.
You're shaking like a leaf.
We're getting excited for you.
That's it. That's
No,
it.
I have a couple drinks to
I don't know
Yeah.
if they allow that.
Yeah,
Relax.
you're hanging out by the pool. You're grabbing a drink.
We
There's
encourage
an
the adult
amazing
beverages.
What are you
DJ.
drinking? What are you drinking?
There's a full bar. They have great food.
He's drinking a
Great
Bubba
food,
Gulp, like a huge Bubba Gulp of a White Russian. I mean, huge.
Put it this way, Tom. If you were to go on a retreat or vacation for the summer and saying, hey, I want to take the wife to Italy or Secrets, that's the kind of white glove service that we're looking
wow.
to do. We're trying
yeah.
to take sex
Ooh la la.
and elevate this
I like
bad
that.
boy. Yeah, dude.
You can
That's
go
it.
to Vienna.
I've been
Yeah,
to
man.
Italy,
Come
not so
on.
good.
If we could,
If
if we
Not
could
good.
white glove sex, I know it sounds crazy.
Ew, that's
like, it's
kinda-
like, yeah, right?
Why don't we go black
Right?
glove?
Well
There you go.
said.
Because we don't have to wash them as much.
You know, if we can make this more like Eyes Wide Shut and Key Party,
You love Eyes Wide Shut.
sexy.
I
and,
know the bird mask.
you know,
Yeah.
like people.
Do you guys
get-
ever wear bird masks?
You can
Well, that's
wear
what
bi-
I was gonna say. Is that
Yeah.
the theme nights are? I know y'all like to dress up. So
It's
whether
Halloween
you're,
every weekend.
Whether you're into the lifestyle or not, it's an amazing place to wear that thing that you can't wear anything else. To look at what the theme. They got a Barbie night. What else is coming up?
I have
know
a
you
MAGA
had-
hat with a
What's this
with a
weekend?
Cabbage Patch weenie.
Yeah, we got coming
Find
up.
the right
So
event, right?
So it's gonna be playful pirates because we got swing
Pirates.
nation.
Playful pirates.
Parties that are
See?
rated R.
Yeah.
Come on, boys, let's
Yeah.
go.
And I think
Let's
Freaky
go.
Tiki is one of the other ones
Cute.
for the
Boom
upcoming.
deck.
So you go get your outfit at Fairvilla.
Tom, think about
where
it. Your wife,
bring
probably,
your wife.
being married, she probably wants an excuse to get dressed up, maybe look good.
they're
Let's
so
go out
hot
on town.
together.
They did a goth
every
thing.
weekend. This is an excuse for you to put on a costume. A sexy
loves
pair of heels.
costumes.
Ladies can dress up and just kind of.
That's when it all went south.
It's a lot of fun.
When you got rid of the costumes and tried to be a real businessman. That's when it all went south.
Well, speaking of that, I'd have to trick her to come here, and I'd be dressed in a suit because I'd tell her I have a business meeting with Mo. And you have to show up.
Yeah.
And
It's a Wall Street thing. We're good.
So, okay, but let's say I'm in the lobby.
God, we've never gotten out of the lobby.
Tom's never leaving
we've
the
been there
lobby.
for an hour.
He's
This
like
guy's been
peeking his
pacing
head
around
out.
in circles.
Let go.
I order.
Why don't you have your wife pull one boob out and we'll just do a circle of the property in a golf cart?
I order a Sex on the Beach drink because of 90s.
Amateur hour over here.
Tom, I'm really going to warp your mind real quick. If you're really a little nervous about it, we have the brand new Secrets Hideaway metaverse that we're dropping in a couple of weeks.
That's so good.
Yeah, you can put on
That
VR.
you'll actually be able to put on your VR goggles.
Yeah.
You don't even got to leave, bro.
Oh,
you could,
I got that.
Yeah,
I got a
You can do
VR.
it from
Put
the
on
comfort
your
of your
VR.
home.
Next thing you know, you
do this
take
right
a
at
walk
the
and I'm
house.
down there.
Have the wife come sit on the couch with you, bro, and you're there, you know?
So hold on, I can go VR into Secrets.
We will be able to do this,
And
yeah,
then
man.
you just talk to the.
We are going to be producing the first ever sexually charged metaverse that's out there. Yeah.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that.
Pretty crazy.
And then are
You
you?
can get out of the lobby finally.
Yeah, we got your back. We
Yeah,
got
he
your back.
walks-
Or you
walks
can bring
right
the
out.
party there, man. The party's in the lobby,
This
too.
is so lawnmower,
Okay.
man, and you're so awkward.
So okay, me and the wife are walking around the pool. Now what?
Digitally walking around the pool.
No. I like this is real life.
In real life.
They're in the
In
flesh
real
now.
time.
Now they're in the flesh, Danny.
And how? Okay, so you just start mingling with other people, and then is there any sort of do you get right to it? Like I find in business meetings, it's better that you tell some jokes up front and you talk some small talk, some sports or whatever. Then you get down to business.
How about that Russell
Small talk
Wilson
rocks.
trade?
And honestly, Tom, Joe and Jess are going to handle this. This is really, really great because there is kind of like a good way to kind of tackle secrets, and we talk about this all the time in our tours and with our newbies.
protocol.
So yeah. So like, if you girls want to hit that of like
No,
open
you go
mind
ahead,
and
man.
like kind
I
of like
love hearing it from
our
you.
honesty and how we have our pillars and stuff, like kind of what we base it on.
Yeah, so if you come in, let's say you come in on a Friday, and Fridays I like to tell people, especially if it's your first time, maybe come a couple days before. It's the calm before the storm. You know what I mean? Get your feet a little
Makes
wet.
sense, yeah.
You know, dabble like.
My
get-
feet.
Yeah, start with your feet.
I feel like your feet are in advance.
I was just saying, doing a saying.
Yeah.
Because we do have our
I've seen those
pillars.
before.
Well, you can
Focus
start
on
with
that
your
one.
feet too,
Yeah.
It's like you're praying like a monkey
Sorry.
with your thighs.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, because a lot of cool things, you know, I mean, like I said, a lot of things happen in our pool. So maybe the feet's more comfortable first, and then you'll maybe by the end of the weekend, your whole body's in there. Who knows?
All right, okay.
Well, and two, the best part about Secrets is that we're built on three pillars. You know, honesty, an open mind, and consent are really the three things. And before you even walk on a property at Secrets, whether you identify as a man, a woman, whatever your pronouns are, we got room for everybody. Those are the three pillars of Secrets Hideaway. So you know when you're coming into our private party, hey, let me have that open mind and just, try to say, hey, what's up? My name's Jordan. Where are you from? What's going on? Or I'm going to make sure I'm consensual with everything. No, rubbing up on anybody I don't know. Let me make sure I'm asking somebody for permission first. Hey, what's going on, man? Listen, I find your wife very attractive. Do you guys want to hang out? And that's totally an open statement at Secrets.
Oh, that was pretty easy.
okay.
Yeah.
You
All right, I see what you did
Well,
there.
just to be serious for a second, I imagine that the vetting process
Correct.
is to keep
Great word, by the way.
any weirdos out, and that would make people feel more comfortable. But like, hey, you guys vet.
Correct.
Who is inside Secrets, so therefore
Correct.
you're not going to show up and you'd be scared. They're like, oh, there's a bunch of creepos around.
Right. And we also hedge our bet as well, too. Not that it's bad, but and from a guy, too. I've been a single guy before. Sometimes, the single men is where stuff gets a little foggy a little bit.
Sure,
so we take extra precaution on that end. It's not bad. Now, there are single guys that are in our community straight up. We have guys that go by the name of Boston Joe and our homie Damon, who are amazing single men that come to our property.
And soon, Watermelon
as a
Hopkins.
single guy. But check this out, Dan.
Yeah.
We only allow 10 single males on property per day.
Oh, my God.
And we're upping our price, too. So, because we want to make
You got to
sure
do like that Trump gold card
it's just
to
about,
get into
it's-
the world.
It is just about $1,000 as a single guy.
You got to price it
to
high.
get on our property. certain times.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we just want to make sure everyone feels comfortable,
Correct.
safe, and
and this isn't to scare anybody off. This is just, hey, you know, between all of us,
Yeah,
we know,
it
guys,
makes
we know where the
sense to me.
riffraff is. We know where
God.
the riffraff is. So we're
Boston
just trying to keep.
Joe must be slinging.
Yo,
it.
Boston Joe's gonna love. We shout him out on every show.
Shout out Boston
Every
Joe.
show. Big shout out to
imagine-
Boston
Yo,
Joe, dude.
Shout
You know what I
out
mean?
to Boston.
What is he doing?
yeah.
Like, I can't even imagine.
I'll get him your email. Don't
Hey,
worry.
digital high five from Watermelon Hopkins. Boop, boop.
I mean, anyway, sorry. So now
We've done a lot of bad today. I feel like. Yeah.
and then just
let's talk about the dungeon for a
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, hey, Jess, did you have one more thing
Well,
you want to
just
put a pin in that, right?
Zero, like for if it's your first time, we just tell people to come in with zero expectations because you're bound to have a lot more fun. If you go in with expectations and then say it doesn't happen, then you're kind of like, am I going to go back or not? So,
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's
Just be
it's
chill.
The
Yeah.
best stuff
Exactly.
happens
Yeah.
organically.
correct.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
chill.
Correct.
Go hang out.
Take only memories, leave only footprints.
Dude,
right?
I was a double book DJ. I was just a touring DJ that found Secrets by accident. And I literally loved it so much. I loved the lifestyle. I loved the idea of how everybody thought together as this other community that I was like, yo, I need to figure this out. I don't care. I used to live in New Jersey, and I'm out here now. And I met this girl from Wisconsin about 3 years ago. We've been dating. Like, I had no idea. My best friend in the whole
A
world.
love story, man.
But if I didn't
But-
find lifestyle or
Yes.
any of that, I don't find any of this. I don't find this relationship.
Right, right.
I'm
Yes.
not, you know,
That's awesome.
going after
Okay.
my career in a whole new way. It's crazy.
I've got a very insider question for you,
Please.
and you'll know the answer, but this may be nearly impossible to talk about on the radio.
God,
but
your
I'm-
eyebrows are going up. I mean, I don't even know what's happening.
Tom,
here.
I'm going to do
ready
everything in my
edit.
power
Yeah,
to
yeah,
answer
yeah.
this
What do you
question.
need me to
We're going
do?
to figure this
Okay.
out.
I'm here for you,
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah,
We'll figure this out. Should
And
we all
so-
hold hands? Let's all
Are you
hold
having
hands.
a heart attack right now?
Now, Jordan, you got to remember, we do air this on terrestrial radio,
Yes, sir.
even though I truly believe the FCC.
Oh, yeah.
Tom's giving me every opportunity
I mean,
to
look,
think about my answer right
they'll
now.
kick us out.
I like
we know this is a
Yeah.
tree falling in the woods with no one around.
I brought trained professionals. You're okay.
But
Right.
Jack will still kick us off the air
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he'd be like, I don't want to deal with
Yeah,
this
you don't
BS.
know what
Jack,
he
I got
might
you.
be-
I got you.
He
I
might
understand.
be giving up sweets for Lent or
cool,
something.
Jack.
He's in a bad mood. You don't know with him.
Yeah.
Because normally he's the nicest guy in the world, but you catch him on a bad day.
But I'm familiar with the lifestyle. I've seen a lot.
I wish you'd
of
stop saying that. You have
information.
no idea
Well,
about
throughout
the
the years, I've asked a lot of questions.
You've never gotten out of the lobby.
This is the state for it, boys. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like, you know.
But we've been talking about this for 20 years. I've been personally talking about it for 20 years
Yeah.
on the radio.
Yeah.
I've been, and then other people have told listeners that we know BDMs that are involved in this.
But have
I've
you
asked them
ever?
questions.
Have
No.
you ever?
No. Here's the
I'm
question.
just saying.
Here's the
Ronnie. His name's not Ronnie. Here's the question, Ronnie.
I'll be whoever you want. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Jordan.
We're
Excited,
role
dude.
playing here. We're role playing here. You're Ronnie.
question. So there's a thing in the lifestyle,
Sure.
right, where it involves a married couple, and then you bring in another person.
Sure.
It's usually the
Oh,
bull.
the bull?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And everybody
I
knows that.
love
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bull.
But then there's some people that are into a thing after that is called
the
the
Dr.
cleanup.
Bob. The Dr. Bob?
No, not the Dr. Bob. It's called the cleanup. What was it called? My wife.
Oh my God, it's Dr. Bob. Like, are you talking about the cleanup? This is your
Don't
wife
do it.
speaking the crow. How dare you talk about the cleanup and the big bull?
And then with the cleanup, and then it seems to be in the research I've done that it's popular enough to be around a lot.
It's
right?
a
So I'm like-
demasculizing kiss the ring scenario.
So-
right?
So then I'm wondering, like, is this a very popular
Oh, there's
kind
a lot of
thing?
men that like to be humiliated?
Not the
I think
humili-
there are, yeah.
Tom,
I
I'm
think
actually, I'm
that's
going to
a,
spread,
I
I'm
think
going to
that's a
spread this
real
out.
kink, and I'm not shaming. I think
Well,
that's
actually,
a thing.
you hit the nail on the head, Dan. And what you're
I'm
relating
I'm
to
ready.
is-
I'm ready to go to Secrets. It's just I'll never go there because my wife.
Is
But
what-
I'm ready.
it's one of the many kinks
Yeah.
of Secrets Hideaway. What we found, Jess, myself, Joe too, obviously over the years, is that the kinks of Secrets. That's where the fun is. That's where you see somebody's true brain and their heart and kind of like what
I
they're
see your brain,
into
Dr.
and-
Bob.
Yeah.
And I
You're
see you eating it off
you're-
the
you're-
spoon.
You're unpacking people
Ooh, that's
in
well said.
in
Yeah.
such a cool way,
Intimate way.
right?
Yeah.
In such an intimate way, and like
Yeah,
And in
they're
a
crying.
safe space.
And crying. I'm beating him with a rubber chicken. He's crying. I see your true self.
that's exactly what it is. Like you get these people broken down to their true selves, and literally when that character, that kink or that excitement comes out, that's the real them.
I'm eating
so there's
slop out of a
nothing-
coffin.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You know, it's just that people are into different stuff. Like there's a show that's on Netflix right now called Bonding. I don't know if you ever saw this.
No, I haven't.
So there's a show
You will
called
now.
Bonding.
This guy's horny.
It's on Netflix right now. They're only about 15, 20-minute episodes. Now, the reason Netflix probably didn't go past season 2 is because the Bonding show did go there a little bit.
Yeah,
so
it
it
went-
did,
yeah.
right, Jess? So we've been
It went-
watching this, and you could jump into it too a little bit. It's such a great show, and you see the weirdest. And I don't want to say weird
it
again
just about
because it's not.
kinks? Is it just
It is
about-
about kinks. It's about
Yeah.
kinks. It's about pleasure. It's sexual. It's
Things
it's,
that push the boundaries.
Right, like there's the guy who just likes, being tickled, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's a tickle fetish. You could, tell him because it's
That's real. We sell a lot
for real,
of
for
those.
real.
See?
So what was the
Well, or
idea behind
there's,
him?
Well, so he, whatever he had growing up or something, that there was a dominatrix that literally, the wife couldn't do it, so they hired a dominatrix to help fulfill this fetish. This
And if you're
kink.
listening out there, that's okay. If for some reason you can't fulfill a fetish or something for your significant other, that's what the DOMs are for. That's what the BDSM community is for. There's people out there that will help you fulfill this in
what
a
this
totally
place is for.
professional way where it's not like, hey, don't cheat on me with my husband. It's not about that. It's about getting to that common goal together. How can we build as a couple and grow and figure this out? Because
It sounds like you need to work on what you have at your house first
Oh,
to get
well-
to the point so you can get to the lobby.
what a
That's
great
also
comment,
well
though.
said.
What a great
Yes.
Dan, you're spitting
Yes.
such
Right.
lifestyle
'Cause
truth.
I'm
because
ready, man.
If
I'm
you're
ready.
taking
You don't
any
wanna have a
sort
baby
of
to save the marriage.
What if your
Yeah.
wife is like, I'm not letting no one
Yeah.
stomp him?
Yeah.
Like, I was just
You
like,
can
what?
go there if you want to, but when you
No,
get
she won't
back,
let me go.
I'll be gone with the boys.
Well, we
But
talk
I'll
about
tell
this all
them
the time,
about it.
Jess, about like the consent and just an open mind to get into these
She does that.
situations, right?
Absolutely, and maybe you're not ready
I
to
will
come to
tell
Club
your
Secret.
sons that you like to have your testicles stomped, and I will say it in front of their teacher in the bus loop. Don't mess with me, Van.
I was wondering.
That's me playing
I
the
was
role of
wondering
your
who the
wife.
color
That's me
was on this
playing
show.
your-
When I
that's
walked
me
in, I'm like,
playing your
ooh,
wife.
who's going to be the color?
Did that rattle you?
Dan,
Because
put that to bed.
I played Crystal. No, I thought I did a good job.
It's all to bed on that.
So then,
So
what's
okay.
the first step to like signing up? To
I know
get-
this answer, and
Oh.
the first step would be talk it out with your partner or someone you want to bring, because the rarity of you going as a single guy is probably a 0 unless you're like extraordinary. So
Yeah.
I would say if you're my age and you got a wife, lay the ground rules. Second thing you want to do, were you not listening to her? You got to go on a Wednesday and kind of scope it out. Walk around, look around, say,
Or a Thursday.
Yeah,
Great
maybe
great time to start.
I'll just unzip and maybe pull one testy out. And I'm walking around the hot tub with one testy
See if
out.
anybody notices, you know?
Yeah,
And then
see,
go from there.
See how I feel. See how it feels with a little air on it.
Another non-joke is it seems like most people's first experience is the fact that it's way more normal than they thought, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
even when they hedonism, it's a damn
I was
resort
thinking
just
of
like every
hedonism.
other
Yeah,
resort.
crazy.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, there's nothing different than anything. And then like, obviously there's the nudity part and stuff, but you're just like, you're shocked by how normal it seems. And how,
It almost
like,
evens everybody out, Tom. It's almost like,
Yeah.
if you were to go to the mall and meet up with a friend, she might have her Louboutin shoes on and maybe the Fendi purse. When you show up at Secrets, everybody's in their birthday suit, so you get into great conversation. It's almost like you forget about all the other stuff, and then you're like, oh, wait a second, I didn't know you had that job, or
Well, it's one
you
of
work
the,
there,
It's
or
one of
that's
the
crazy.
reasons why educational institutions use uniforms to try and even
Correct.
everybody
Yep.
out. I started a school.
This is our school
for,
uniform.
for kids, and everybody was naked,
know?
but it did fail horribly. It's like
That's how we do it.
It's terrible.
Body adornment.
I didn't think it out.
Speaking of nude hedonism, when I went there was what seemed to be an armed Jamaican man standing in the front of the nude section.
Yeah.
Yep.
Forced me to get nude.
Jess met that guy too.
Definitely met that guy.
And then I had to pull my baby.
Pull your pants down,
No,
Acorn.
sir. No,
And
sir.
I was like,
He's
young
like,
boy,
socks
Do
too.
the Acorn, man.
You know, young I
Socks
looked
too.
at
Get 'em all
21.
off.
Wah, 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 wah.
I look like
Take
a-
off your pants, man.
A 16-year-old rosacea faced boy. and I pulled my
But he meant business. He was not playing around.
Not 12-year-olds.
You better get those clothes off.
and I pulled him down and I walked out.
I say, did you leave him there or did you take him with you?
No, I think there was some sort of cubby that I put him in.
Don't put him in the cubby. No, you didn't fold him
Sandy.
either. You stuffed him.
All right. So, is there any events coming up that people should know about?
Yeah, so we have Swing Nation coming up.
That's right, in 2 weekends, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's gonna be that's the 4th through the 6th.
Swing Nation
Correct.
is their
Swinger.
ninja warrior course.
That's right. That's right.
Swinger
It's the American
Society,
Ninja
yeah.
Warrior of.
What is Swing Nation? What is that? Is that just like a celebration of like?
So it's actually, I apologize, it's Swinger Society,
That's
but
right.
Swing Nation is under that umbrella.
Correct.
And they actually, it's Dan and Lacey. They are out of.
It's the Midwest area, yep. And
Yeah.
they also, so they have an amazing group that takes over our property. So when we have these takeovers, we have lifestyle groups that come in from all over the country and all over the world on designated weekends to where they've booked out our hotel property. So that's why I said in the beginning of the
that's
show,
cool.
we're kind of like the Ellis
You
Islands.
guys are a destination.
Yeah,
now. That's great.
Absolutely.
Correct. So it could be anything. So this group specifically enjoys the art of swinging and being that part of the lifestyle. You know what I mean? This lifestyle term kind of encompasses all these different divisions, and swinging is obviously a huge one of it. So consensually, this is probably one of the biggest swinger parties and swinger weekends at Secrets.
You're born for this, T.
Last insider question, because my wife literally asked me this. She knows about, you know, what hot wife is and the cuckold.
There you go.
You know,
A couple of terms flowing around.
Look at you.
That's impressive.
There's a thing called breeding too, which like it's a weird. It's just like, it involves
On the
you know,
next show, we're gonna get Tom to stop talking like he doesn't have to talk like this. You know, we're gonna get the arms down.
He's
We're gonna be
very
good.
uncomfortable right now because you don't understand how horny he is. He's about to tear this room apart.
But he asked for it.
But then she asked me, she's like, are there women that like to watch their men with other women? And I'm like, yes, that's a thing. And she's like, no, she can't even wrap her head around it because she's so jealous of every. She's like, I can't even understand that. I'm like, and she's
Why
like,
don't you try it?
Well,
and she's like, that can't be popular. And I'm like, probably not as much, but percentage wise.
So Tom, I'll give you a term. Jess likes to say all the time, sometimes, that she's bi-situational in certain stuff. So can you explain that to Tom, since he was just talking about?
I know what that means.
well, no, I mean, if you just in case,
situational means
just in
Dr.
case we didn't have you already here this morning, you know?
sorry,
I want to see about, you know. But Jess uses that term all the time for us because, you know, like it really is on a per
Yeah.
basis thing. It's got to
Well,
be a
it's-
vibe. It's got to be an energy,
And
right?
everything, like I said, everything, you may go in being like, oh, that's why I say zero expectations is better. Because
right.
like, ooh, I'm going to go do this today. And then you're
I
like,
like that voice. Would you use that voice?
That's Wisconsin,
Wait,
yo.
did you
I'm going to go do this today.
That's
She goes like this.
If you want to know what hooked me, that's the hook right there.
Where's my swing, eh?
Give me the Fargo wood chipper.
You got a don't you know in
Oh,
there.
put it in there, don't you know?
but I would. It comes out. I can't, I don't.
Yeah, it's fine.
I just don't know.
I
Push
love
it
it,
out.
babe.
Push
Keep
it out, eh?
I am having a
But
great time.
I can attest to that. So I just actually told Jordan on Saturday night, I was like, Jordan, I said, I might actually want to see you do things with this girl, and I might enjoy it.
You said that?
Literally
And
2
I'm
days
like-
ago.
And
Now
she put an
imagine
A-
me.
She put an A on the end of it, too.
Tom, you got to come hang out with me, bro. I mean, look at this.
party.
I'm like, this
Party
is great.
with him.
My
Now, I
wife's
didn't even
like,
know this was happening.
Don't go in there. The bathroom stinks. That's what I hear.
We actually make sure they're squeaky clean, y'all.
Our bathrooms are great.
Their housekeeping is on
I want to
point.
see you with another woman. Maybe.
Don't go in there, the bathroom.
The coolest part about this is that these situations can happen anywhere. And again, finding the lifestyle and finding this pulse has made it all possible, which is cool. And the two of us, completely honest with each other. I find myself talking about so many things. I'm like, hey, babe, I'm going to go to the bathroom right now. And I'm like, it's crazy. Like, we're just talking
Don't
about
tell
the
her
weirdest
that,
stuff.
Jordan. God.
And like, but it's cool. Like, there's
go drop off Dr. Bob.
right? But you know, she needs to know when I'm going to be back. You know what I mean? I got to give her the proper amount of time, so she needs to know.
You don't have
But
to
like
tell
I'm
her
saying,
everything, Jordan.
we find ourselves talking about a lot.
You're
and
an
when you-
oversharer. This guy,
Yeah,
we'll be
oversharing.
doing a
No.
business deal, and he'll have the guy on the hook, and he'll be like, just so you know, we're really cheating you. We're not giving you the value. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, she got the value. I worked that bathroom to the bone. So
How
we're
many
good.
people, this is my
We're good.
final serious question.
Okay.
How many people have you guys, would you say, and I'm not looking for like, I'm not trying to go crazy. How many people would you say that you guys have actively been a part of? Like, we've been in a, you
asked
know,
for a body
we were in
Personally?
a 17-person human
So
centipede.
I'll be perfectly honest. If you want to know something fun about us,
Yeah.
is that Jess and I literally, we don't participate in the lifestyle with other people often right now. There has to be a connection. There has to be some sort of an energy.
You should put on a show.
Well, so the cool part is we're having a great time learning
I
about
can
each
do
other
that.
and being in the life. So Jess used to be married before she met me,
Yep.
and was in the lifestyle with her ex-husband. in a completely different way. So when we got together, and the three of us are all very good friends. This is a whole thing, a whole other story, a whole other episode for y'all.
Jordan.
So we have a great time. He's living back in Wisconsin now, but it was just a different speed and something else that she needed at a point in her life where it was almost like I got tagged in. He's cool living in Wisconsin doing his own thing, and we're enjoying kind of this new wave of lifestyle, BDSM community, the community of people we meet at Secrets, in other lifestyle properties. She's never really had somebody who's been all in lifestyle to kind of go there and get a little crazy and just have some fun.
With less restrictions, I'm guessing.
With less restrictions.
Because is it a place where if you don't have these things, these guidelines, these ideas like set forth before you go in, then maybe you end up with what you had before, which was restricting you and maybe a little possessive or weird or could be. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
And you might be coming into
problem,
the lifestyle
right?
to try to fix a problem. Where what you said before,
right? Like having a kid, the relationship's failing.
Bringing
People are like,
something
let's have
fresh,
a baby. You know, yeah.
Starting fresh in the lifestyle is really the way to go because you want to bring any issues in because then it's not the real thing. You know, it's being based off something else.
Last question, insider question.
We've said this like 100 times.
Does
it's fine. It's fine. And we are almost out of time. So.
Does the bull know the husband's in the closet? Because I've always wondered that.
I was going to ask that.
Because I'm like, why is that closet open a little bit and just shaking in there?
I see a red light blinking.
So most bulls, so there's two different ways you could do that. You might have a bull that talks with a couple and says, hey, we're going to have same room play. And then in that case, the husband's in the room either watching
But I want him to talk like Trump the whole time.
But there's also a situation.
You negotiate all those.
Right,
Negotiate.
that's all in the negotiation. So there could also be a case.
I think he is. I think he's going to do it.Maybe he won't do it.
There could also be a case where they've negotiated the play to be in separate rooms. So it'd be like, hey, my husband is cool with us playing separately, and that's a thing.
That's
it's
way
a very
better.
real thing.
And then I get in there and I'm like, let me tell you about this bitch. And then we don't do anything. I just talk the whole time about how much I hate my wife.
That could be a kink. Maybe your wife's into that. She's like, hey, make
Yeah.
sure you talk a whole bunch of junk about me in there. That could be a thing.
You just never know.
Let's throw out the website real quick so people know exactly where to go.
Sure,
Oh,
absolutely.
the chat room is intrigued. I mean, they want to.
We will be back. I promise.
Yeah,
Whenever
they
the boys want us back
they
in the
wanna
show and
check
Joe
it
wants
out.
to bring us, we're in the house for whenever you guys want. But they can check everything out at secretsfl.com, right, babe?
And that gives you everything upcoming events, day passes, night passes, all that sort of fun
And
stuff.
Tom went night skiing over there.
And Tom, Dan, if y'all and your audience want to hear a little bit more about what we do, we actually have today our official Secrets Hideaway podcast that we do every Wednesday.
I'll subscribe
Jess
to
and
that.
I host that up, and that's every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern from the Secrets
Hell
Hideaway
yeah.
Facebook page. So we
I
do that
need
live.
a new podcast
And
to
don't
listen to.
worry
And
about going to
check it
Secrets
out.
unprepared because once you get there, Fairvilla's in the lobby can dress you,
Yep.
get you your supplements, make sure you have all
And
the
Jess
things
and
that
Jordan
you
are there
toys
9
you may
times out of
want.
10 too. So you get this dream team hooking you up.
Oh, that's
Whenever
cool.
you're there.
That's
Yeah.
very cool.
So,
right?
We take you under
We
our wing
got
and make sure
ya.
you guys have a good time. We set you up for
the
success.
best
That's
time.
awesome.
Best
Well,
time.
thank
This is
you
just
guys.
like the ski trip. You go to the shop, you rent your skis,
Yeah.
you get your day pass,
right.
you get your
Yeah.
night pass.
And,
It's
and
just
if,
like
and
All in
skiing.
one
also, too,
spot.
Tom and Dan, if anybody else has questions or stuff they want to hit Jess and I up through you guys or whatever, we're
Yeah.
at Team Jess and Jordan on Instagram and Team Jess and Jordan Marshall on Facebook.
Well,
So
you guys are
can check
fun.
us
Hey,
out.
thanks
Thank
for
you.
being good
Thank
sports
you.
and letting us ask dumb questions
Yeah,
and be
yeah.
silly.
Always.
We
always.
really
Anytime you
appreciate
want to have
it.
us back for that, we're down. We love it.
100%.
Thank you, guys.
Well, Joe, thanks so much again.
appreciate
Thank
you,
you,
Joe.
Joe.
Yeah.
All Fairvilla locations at fairvilla.com. There's a
Yeah.
ton
Yes,
of them, and we will see you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Welcome to a Corporate Tom and Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. I'm not losing my voice, I promise. I don't know what happened there. But hey, we are live on Twitch and YouTube. We'd love it if you join us. Just head on over there and search for @Tom and Dan Live.
Yeah, and in April, our BDM Appreciation Week is coming up. We're having a big celebration, BDMs only, on April 19th.
You know, when you say celebration, it makes me think of like Disney World.
Yeah.
They have kind of locked down the term celebration, you know?
We've got live music.
We do.
We've got a whip show.
We do have a whip show. We have a beautiful
little bit
woman.
magic.
We have a beautiful woman, illusionist and magician.
Oh, good.
And scientist that will be making her way to an undisclosed location to put on an erotic whip show.
yeah.
It's an erotic whip show.
Then Silver Linings Band is going to play after.
Yep.
It's going to be an awesome event, and you got to be a BDM to be invited. So if you're not a BDM, you can sign up at tomanddan.com, and we will send out another invite. Like everybody, all BDMs currently know, but we will send out another invite probably a week before the event.
And if you want to sign up, it's tomanddan.com/registration. You can sign up and be a part of the party.
Yep. So in the studio with us, Jeff Howell and Casey Howell.
Hey,
How you doing?
How are you guys?
Hold on, let's see if this thing's working today. Oh, is it not? We didn't break it. Hey, it is working. I like to start everything with a song.
Sure.
Let's give them a song, ladies and gentlemen, to Jeff and to Casey Howell.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, remember the Red Dog Pub? Is that still going? They had real good grub. It killed Jeff, but I fell in love at the Red Dog Pub. At the Red Dog Pub. Red Dog Pub. Came from Louisiana. Just a man and a guitar. Singing songs and telling jokes on the stage up at the bar. But the bar is oddly empty. The man, he doesn't realize that it's time to stop the music. He can finally close his eyes.
That's for you to die. Yeah.
Yeah,
She wants you to die. Yeah.
That was beautiful.
ChatGPT, at the end of the song, ChatGPT was like, it's time for the music to be over. He can finally close his eyes.
Yeah.
He can die. He can
Oh,
die
my
now.
God. Now,
The
now
rest
save
that
that
you've
one for me.
earned.
Say,
Okay,
I know
I'll
that
send it to
cost you a lot of money.
I'll
I'm
send
sorry.
It to you.
Yeah.
No, I'll send it to you. It's free. It's free. Tom
a
gave me
penny.
the credit card, and I bought the biggest package.
Believe me.
You can
Yeah,
write
yeah,
that
I
off.
know.
Yeah, I can write it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, he thinks that I'm never really mad at him, but
How are you guys doing?
Good to
Oh,
see you
right
guys.
now? Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that
much
was
better.
for Casey.
that is like, do save that for me if you
I
would.
will.
please.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Yeah. For
Hey,
sure.
I got a couple of questions.
Yeah.
real quick.
Please, please.
Y'all just did the swingers thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So-
Did you ever dabble in that?
No, never did.
Not
yeah.
my thing either.
Yeah, not my. Yeah.
I'm not anti it. Those are sweet people. But
Yeah.
No,
No,
I
I
think
just
talking
I
about
just
it
don't.
with my dad.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Not
I'm
my
sorry.
thing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I barely feel comfortable with a girl in the room. You know,
Right.
and I don't want other people.
Right.
Yeah,
It's hard enough to touch a woman alone.
Alone,
Then
yeah.
that's actually not. You're not wrong.
Yeah, no.
There are plenty of men that don't know, even now, that like
Yeah.
they're nervous to touch their own wives.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm nervous to touch myself.
Yes, true.
I've had a couple of offers to do threesomes back in the day.
Yeah.
And I won't do it because I can only disappoint one woman at a time.
Like that. That's fantastic. That's Bob Zaney style. I love it.
Thank you very
I don't know
much.
if it's just my age,
Yeah.
but that is what I'm looking for.
There
right
you go,
there.
baby.
Yeah,
There you
I
go. So,
love it. Hey, baby.
the question is, do gay people have swingers clubs?
Yes.
Or are they just swingers bars? I mean, just gay bars. Are they just gay bars?
okay.
Don't they flip around a lot?
I think
I don't know. I don't
okay.
want to be.
No.
They
I don't
have
think you're
more
being
fun.
They're
disrespectful at all.
wrestling each other.
Listen, from what I've experienced
Yeah.
so far,
Yeah.
it's just they have a more open, fun relationship
Yeah.
than
Right.
normal, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Not
Sure.
all the time, but I think
Like
in
to me, gay people
percentages.
in sex are like black people's barbecues. They're just obviously better.
Okay.
Their food is better.
Yeah.
The music's better.
Yeah.
And
It's
the
more
dancing,
fun.
and it's more fun, and it goes on forever.
Yeah.
That's
and
what
it's
I-
awesome.
A little bit spicier.
Yeah, and everything has flavor.
Yeah,
There,
exactly.
I think I figured it
And a
out.
lot of white sweat towels. What? Anyway.
Clean up's a mess.
Or Jeff, we
What?
were bringing up hedonism. You've been to hedonism.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I-
Daniel has too.
I have.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
you have been as well.
When I went, I think
Oh,
that was
you
a
went?
yeah. Well,
You went once, right?
Yeah,
you didn't
you
go
weren't
twice.
there. It was Tuttle went when
You
we
went with me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went with you.
And then we skipped the
I
second
hated
one.
couple?
it. I
Yeah,
hated
we
it.
skipped the second one, and you hated it, and I just didn't want to fly again.
Yeah.
And we were flying for like it was like a wedding
Yeah.
thing. And look, I don't have to tell you guys anything. It wasn't something I wanted to do. All
Yeah.
right? And yeah, you and I,
Yeah,
we sat
the,
that one
the
out.
thing is, I was seeing somebody at the time, but the problem was, she couldn't go because her husband would have been a little pissed about it. And so, yeah.
Really?
I was seeing a married girl at the time.
Yeah! Wow! You dared it down. Hold on, I almost hit a symbol with a
Yeah. And I was
I
trying
didn't know
to,
what to do.
I was trying to think,
It just comes natural at a certain point, I guess.
how could she not talk to her husband for a week? Type. But that didn't
Yeah.
work. But anyway,
Oh,
the thing
man.
about
That's exciting, Jeff.
hedonism is the people that show up at hedonism
Yeah.
are not the people on the brochure.
Yes.
Yeah. Most of the people that show it, you don't want to see.
Yeah. But then I was actually,
I was
because
pleasantly surprised. There's some ringers.
Yeah. I saw when
Is
I
ringers
was.
good or bad?
No,
Stack the
Oh,
deck.
yeah, that was probably a bad choice of words. Ringers.
There
The
were
worm ringers.
a lot more younger couples than I thought because of what I was told before I went there.
Sure, yeah.
And then I realized because when I went to in the radio days doing the nudist resort stunts and stuff, and then it's like, oh, everybody here is old.
Yeah.
But that's not really the case. Like there are
That doesn't
more
work now,
young
right?
people than you think.
That does that work now?
The nudist.
Okay, are there radio stations and shows? Because you and I have been kind of, and you'll understand this, Jeff.
Yeah.
Tom and I have kind of started seeing the cyclical patterns of everything in entertainment. Like everything is exactly the same. And what I mean by that is, like, if you look at Mr. Beast and what he's doing, you can look at a blanket sheet of all of the bits that he's doing, and most of those are being done and have been done currently by radio stations all across North America.
Yeah.
He's not reinventing the wheel.
Stay in
nothing-
this cube
Yeah.
until the last person leaves and they win the prize.
Last person that can squeeze their body in the car wins the new Lamborghini. Like, these are,
Gets health care.
these are not. But these are not.
Yeah.
But it's like, is the nudist resort thing? Is there a station somewhere in the Midwest where Bucky and Little Frog, that's you and I, that's our alter, Bucky and Little Frog, I'm Little Frog.
That's your Omaha name.
Bucky and Little Frog are going to hedonism. They're still fitting because they used to foot the bill. They'd pay you to go out there to promote the sandals or hedonism. Is that still a thing?
I think they still do sandals vacation. I think Real Radio did one not too long. Like a news junkie got in.
Oh,
on
they
that.
always used to send Pat Lynch and Taco Bell.
Yeah. And then I was like, how'd you get that? Let me get the
let me
marketing
get that,
person. Get the marketing person's name. I'll give him the deal. But I still think that happens. Although, I don't know if I think the novelty of
The
doing,
nudity. It's not a big deal anymore.
Because everybody has the internet,
everywhere.
and you could see. And if you're curious about what a nudist resort is, you just search it on TikTok.
Right.
You look. I mean, they put out their own social media clips. Everybody's just consuming
Sure.
any information you ever want to know about.
Yeah.
Is just one search away on Instagram, and you
Yeah.
can see
It's
1,000
not a secret
reels.
anymore.
Yeah,
It doesn't have
but-
the allure.
But being still in person, and
I like to be able to smell it.
and
If I can smell
there's
it, then
nothing
I'm
that
back
beats
in.
it.
It's the it kind of pulls me. It's like 4D.
Yeah. It's that extra dimension.
I
Yeah.
like my porn Muppets 4D. I like a little water on the face.
Yeah.
I like a little scent of pine in the air.
Go ahead.
No. I was gonna switch topics a little bit into
Sure.
cell phones, and we were talking about the cell phones,
Right,
and
right.
some
And then
people.
don't forget, I got to ask if Jeff remembers a certain person.
Oh yeah. So the it's been a thing because we were talking about cell phones and flip phones, and
Yeah.
your brother
Yeah,
has
still
a
has
flip
a
phone.
flip phone. Yeah.
My dad died with a flip phone.
And
Loved it. Loved his flip
Yeah.
phone.
Oh, yeah.
So Crystal has been telling me, she's like, maybe I'll just get a flip phone because she a while back she deleted or it removed social media from her phone
Sure.
because she was like, I feel I get trapped in it.
Right.
I start checking it and then I start
It's not
scrolling.
a bad idea.
And then she's like, it's the equivalent of her telling me to take her popcorn away because she can't stop eating it. You have no self-control, which
Which is
I
she
do bring
more
up. Like,
addicted to, popcorn or
I'm like,
Instagram?
and I'm like, just don't click. You have to delete
Now,
it
is
from
she
your
doing
phone.
the popcorn during the Instagram? Do you take both away at the same time?
And
What
then
do I do with my hands?
Yeah, what do I do?
And then every once in a while, I'll send her a reel that I think is funny.
Don't do that. That's mean.
And then she's like, I can't. And then she'll re-download it. And then she's stuck again.
Yeah.
Then she's
Why
like,
would you do that? That's not supportive. Like right now
You're
my wife's
cruel.
doing macros. You're supposed to be support staff.
Then she's like, maybe I'll get a flip phone just to take the temptation
Sure.
away. And then I find out it's a thing, and
Yeah.
they actually sell them for this purpose because people don't want a
Right.
smartphone
And they have
anymore.
secret apps on them.
And
So you're just carrying around a flip phone that people see, and you're like, I have a flip phone so I don't use it. And then you go poop and you pull up all the apps.
yeah, but it's not as addicting like the scrolling and like I guess it's just the getting stuck in the stuck in the
Sure.
scroll, you know. Which does that happen to you, Jeff?
What?
Like,
You
like
get stuck in the scroll of TikTok,
you-
Instagram.
No,
Reels.
I don't go to that side of Facebook. I just look at my stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
You've always kind of been that way. Always listen to your own music.
Yeah.
always
I
like-
literally post my gigs and then I leave it alone. Now
good.
he is social media. How many months are you in social media now?
Oh, like 3 or 4, maybe.
Yeah, he's never done it.
Really?
in-
I'm
love
a
that.
newborn.
That makes me want to hug you. The
Yeah.
fact that you're almost like a virgin. I feel like. I almost
Almost.
feel like I should slap it
Yeah,
out of your
right.
hand.
Yeah, but you
I
know-
feel like I should slap it out of your hand and go like, "What the hell are you doing?
So,
Don't get
okay,
on it."
So Jeff, this is a father question.
It's like
because-
getting on drugs.
Yeah. He got me into the drugs. He got me my
I know.
first
I know
hit.
he did.
Yeah.
And he made you a musician?
So-
what?
I know.
An
God.
entertainer?
I feel horrible.
Like us?
Yeah.
Bunch of trash
I
bags.
feel horrible.
Well, I remember
God, my daughter's
Casey,
becoming an entertainer too.
Is she really?
She's dance crazy, and I'm like, you're gonna starve, you whore.
I remember when you were young, Casey, where you'd be like,
Yeah.
you know, and
Being funny, taekwondo crazy.
you didn't grow up with smartphones
Video games.
and social media and
Yeah.
stuff. So I mean, and that's such a gift that you were able to not be like your brain didn't get
Immersed
addicted to
in
a
it.
screen.
Yeah.
And we're learning a lot more now, but I do regret and I have deep regrets that like even introduced a screen to my sons.
Sure.
And because we and we limit the time and stuff, but they really like it.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like over the years, like they just learn, and they're obviously they're gonna live their lives with a screen.
Yeah.
And in the future, 20 years from now, I imagine it's just gonna be a necessity to do business and to live.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just like God, if they could have grown up without it, then it would never have been a thing.
Yeah.
And then
Delayed
Casey,
it or
and then
something,
yeah,
yeah.
Casey like not even on social media, and so I feel like it's just
Yeah.
not in your brain. But once you grow up with it, your brain always wants it.
Do you
Yeah.
still
Like a
game?
drug.
Do you still game at all? Because you were a gamer growing
Yeah.
up, right?
I game a fair amount, and I did have social media for like a very brief time in college, maybe about
no. I'm
3-4 weeks or something.
Ah.
But I just noticed that it was not good for me. I immediately got sucked into it, and the
Yeah.
addiction happened like overnight. And I was like, "Oh, this is terrible.
Yeah,
I
this is
gotta,
not good."
I gotta break away from this."
So you recognize it immediately, and then you're like, I'm done.
Yeah, like I dabbled in crack.
That sounds very
wasn't
much.
addicted.
No, but it sounds very much like something your dad would do.
He
Like
had walk away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've done that before, and you've always been able to do that. Like I don't. I tend to be a little more like Crystal, where I have to hand the brownie pan to Andrea and be like, "You gotta get these out of here."
Yeah.
I'm
'Cause
not in control anymore.
Yeah, I'm out of control.
But for your job, though, and I'm sure that's why you got back into
Yeah,
it,
that's
is
why I
like
had to.
promoting, because we find that the same thing too. It's like, and we were talking about this the other day, like people are like, they'll say they listen to our show,
Sure.
but really they just listen to the clips that we post on social media.
Oh, yeah.
And they haven't listened to a whole show
Yeah,
in a long
yeah,
time. And
Sometimes they don't even do that. Sometimes they just see we posted a clip and they're like, they're still doing it.
Those crazy
But I-
kids,
Yeah.
what are they up to?
Yeah, they're still at it.
That's happened with me with different podcasts that I used to consume the whole podcast,
Sure.
and now I'll see like little clips of interviews on
Yeah.
social media, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, I got the
Let me
the
ask you
gist
guys
of it.
a question.
It says micro consumption
Sure.
of
What's-
content nowadays.
The chat room, I'm going to give credit to Riki. He brought this up. Tell me what you guys think about this. If right now we're addicted to this device,
Sure.
right? I got my iPhone here. This is the thing that we all like go to.
Right.
And it would be funny if I held it up and there's porno on it, right? But it's the thing we always go to. We're on it all the time, at least like 3.5 hours a day, I
Sure.
think is the average for most people. Riki says like no screens 20 years from now. It'll all be in your brain.
Oh, yeah.
So if it goes back into your brain, but it's still artificial, are you still being distracted?
no way of what we know now they're going to give us the ability to just bring up porno or anything stimulating at any time, because it would shut down a human society. Because people would be so addicted to it.
No, but like he's saying, no phone. You want to activate it. You got your neural link.
Yeah.
And you're like, boop, you just turn it on. Jeff Howe's here. We're doing the show. And over in the corner, I got, the best of Christy Canyon 1980s rolling,
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate.
Yeah, appreciate. Thank you. This man knows.
But it would ruin society. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we're in an interesting time in which we didn't know how addictive having a device in that unlimited information with anything you want at any time would be. And now we're starting to realize, we're like, oh, then that's why they're putting limits. Like, don't give this to kids so much. And they're like, oh, like we're living the experiment that's going to teach us, like, oh, having unlimited information and stimulation in your pocket has to be regulated by yourself in some way. Kind of like, we have unlimited chocolate. We just can't eat it all the time, or we get fat, or, we get diabetes.
I wish I was eating chocolate right now. I wish the camera cut to me and I'm eating chocolate.
And we learned as a society, like, we have unlimited food that we could buy and eat at all times. Yeah. And and it's taken us, maybe 100 years, but we're like, hey, we've got to have some self-control.
Pace ourselves.
But it's tangible, right? Like, when you eat poor food, when you have malnutrition, you can either be super skinny or obese, right? Like, with your mind, there are no active, other than the things that you say, there's really no ways to look at somebody and determine whether or not their mind is affected by their addiction to a pad, right? Like, you can look at somebody and say, like, oh, you're pale, or oh, you're very heavy. Like, I don't know how you determine that.
Are you looking at us?
Well,
No. I was actually looking at myself.
Man, staring straight at me there.
But I think you can
borrow
tell
your walker?
by the person not thriving and living their life, right? As the person's just like at home, like never living a outside life, and just and you're like, hey, this is not natural to being a human being, right?
Yeah.
Like we've evolved over lots of hundreds of thousands of years, and then we can't just all of a sudden implant a neural link and then have access to anything, and then now we're talking about Matrix.
That'd be awesome. My car's driving me around. I'm watching porno in my brain.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You go
dream.
You go farther. You keep going farther in the future, and then you're like, well, why not just live in a simulation if it's better than your own life? If you're,
you get the premise for every movie out there, right?
But you know what the fact of it is, there's no. I've said this for years. There's no such thing as science fiction. It's all science fact that either just hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So what they're telling us, with this AI that's happening now, once they figure out the quantum chip, once they get that, it's over. We're done. The machines will take over, and they don't need to be robots. They don't need to come beat us up physically. All they need to do is get into our infrastructure, and they'll cut off your water supply. It could cut off your electricity. It could wipe out your banking.
Yes.
Yeah.
I finally got Jeff to get into the end of the world survivalist.
Oh, absolutely.
I've been waiting for this moment.
I've thought this for years, and I can't wait for it to happen. I want everybody to see. Here's the deal.
You're fluent. You use it, so you're an ally.
Get
you're on their side.
I feel like you're an ally. You're an old ally.
And
they'll be like, have you talked to the Oracle? That's your name. You're the Oracle.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. So I know it's coming, and so I truly believe that eventually robots are going to wipe out humans, and they'll be, hopefully they'll be.
And
great.
they'll be right.
Yeah, and they will be right. But I did invest a bunch of money in NVIDIA because it's going through the roof right now.
Oh my God,
and that's the AI chip.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, you could. Like, you can't control what's gonna. This is how I look at it.
Yeah.
You
Are you
can't
gonna use one of your Dr. Phil phrases again? You can't control the future, but you can't control the past, okay?
But you could be even if it's like not the smartest way to look at it, but
you may not be the strongest frog, but you can still do the backstroke sometimes in the creek. You know what I'm saying?
You could be ignorantly optimistic about the future and just be like, man, maybe by that time, like, a lot more smarter people than I am are gonna look at this and be like, this is not like.
I'm looking at the world right now, and I keep saying, where are these smart people going to fix all this stuff? And I'm not seeing anyone stepping
All the people I used to think were smart are now proving themselves not to be.
I pulled myself out of that entirely.
Oh, absolutely.
I got 35 years, maybe. Nothing's gonna happen to that short.
I'm already blowing my daughter's money on surgeries for my ailing body.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's there's a short.
I'm just gonna start cutting my bones off until I fall into a coffin.
Hey, let
You
me
do
ask
start realizing how short of a time we have here.
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Okay, with
This is a
technology going,
depressing ass segment. Let me go to mine. Because it can fix it. I can fix it.
Okay.
But finish your thought, and then I'll turn
No,
it around.
Also,
I'll turn
so
it
you
around.
got 35 years. You know, good span
32
right
maybe.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's some hard living there.
Do you think we could get a Tom and Dan coaster that actually lies flat on the table here? And everything?
Oh yeah. It's
And that's empty. That's an empty bottle.
So we bought 6 paper coasters and we've been using them for 9 years.
This is amazing. It is amazing. It's like a game from Warner Brothers or Milton Bradley. You know, it's like dump your drink. That's the new game that we're playing.
All right.
How old is that big cone Jeff is drinking?
This one?
That's been in this fridge for a while.
He brought that from home.
Yeah.
That Kona
You know,
Did you bring that from home?
No.
I think Tony Moonjet brought that when his name was Rage.
like pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
Actually, Casey will tell you, I spent about 20 minutes of your last interview going through your cabinets going, where's the goddamn bottle opener?
Oh, I'm sorry. There's one up on the wall.
Yeah, it took me forever.
It's up on the wall.
I'd already be 3 beers down.
Do you remember the name Mason Reese?
Mason Reese, yeah.
I knew you'd remember.
Who is that?
He was the little boy from the deviled food, the deviled ham
Oh,
commercial.
that cute kid.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play a commercial for you, TC. This is called This is called Dan and Jeff's Blast from the Past.
Okay, all right.
Old man. I got to turn on the net here so people can see this. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this to work.
So the
everybody
kid
can
from
see
the
this.
Little Debbie.
No, not Little Debbie. Deviled.
Deviled ham.
Deviled ham. You like deviled ham.
Yeah,
You should know.
yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
so,
I did too.
yeah, I love deviled ham.
It was,
My dad.
but it was so small. I mean, you couldn't hardly get
Well,
it.
you mix it with mayonnaise.
I didn't mix mine.
Well, just here. Okay, this is Mason Reese. This is him.
I do remember. Cute.
All the way back from this kid. He did commercials everywhere. Here we
Yeah.
go.
There's 2 good things about today's high prices. There's a lot less bags to carry in, and we get more into a deviled ham. You know why? When Mom mixes a can with relish, mayonnaise, and celery, we have 4 meat sandwiches.
I'm gonna pause. Well, let me back it up. I'm gonna pause it so you can see him. He's got the cutest little red Dutch boy hair.
Oh, yeah,
little
yeah,
Dutch
yeah.
boy haircut.
Yeah.
And he's got a little old man face with a dimpled chin, and he's just as cute as he can be with his little train conductor overalls on, a little orange
Yeah.
shirt, and then he's talking about the devil. And then he's gonna
Does
continue.
he have like the Hezbollah disease?
He might have Hezbollah. Yeah. He might have Hezbollah disease.
Yeah.
Because that is a gross
Yeah.
man.
For under $1. Or you could use egg salad or pineapple and still give your family meat and save money.
Here's his big phrase.
Wow, 4 meat sandwiches for under $1.
Wow, 4 meat sandwiches for under $1. Okay, here's the fascinating thing about Mason Reese that I wanted to bring up to you. Why did Mason Reese is still alive?
Yeah.
In 2019, Mason Reese started dating an adult film star that is on OnlyFans.
All right.
And Mason Reese, I'm going to pull him up right now so you guys can see him.
Okay.
Don't tell me he's handsome, because all those cute kids grew up to be goofy-looking adults.
And my computer shut down, so I don't. There he is now.
Oh!
Same haircut. He looks exactly the same. He has not changed his hair. He has not changed. He is in his 80s, I think, 70s.
Wow.
He
That
is
shows
not. He is still active. This is my white whale. I want to talk to Mason Reese. I want to talk to him. Why he's dated a porn star. They just broke up.
Yeah.
Aw.
He does a podcast. He's done multiple commercials. He tells a story about being on. He was on the Howard Cosell show.
Yeah.
They had booked him, Mason Reese, and Howard Cosell, and they booked Evel Knievel.
No.
Mason Reese is on the panel with Evel Knievel. Howard Cosell asked Mason Reese, "What do you think of what Evel Knievel does?" And Mason is a 10-year-old boy. He goes, I think it's crazy. He's broken all these bones. It's very scary.
Yeah.
And then they get done with it. Evel Knievel grabs him by the shirt off camera, bashes him into the effing wall and goes, "Don't you ever effing talk about me and besmirch my name on TV, you punk!" And yells at his 10-year-old little red-haired boy.
Is that why he looks like that?
Yeah, Evel Knievel beat up red-haired 1970s Hezbollah. Like, he's banging them at the Howard Cosell show.
Isn't
That's
that
a true story.
Where you just get a deep dive into this bizarre.
I became obsessed with the fact that this man, he looked like this at like the age of 5 or 6. He did this deviled ham commercial that literally set his life ablaze.
Yeah.
It set him a path that he's still capitalizing on as an 80-year-old man with the same haircut that he had as a 5-year-old boy, and he's dating porn stars, and everybody out there wants to complain about, oh, woe is me. This guy looks like an elf, and he has for his entire life, and he's doing fine. Well, he's killing it.
Apparently, 4 meats in one will really distort your face.
His hair grows in genetically like that.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? Good for him for never changing the cut.
Yeah.
Because he knew that if he changed the cut, he gives up the bit.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When you first showed him, I thought you were going to tell me that he grew up to be Emo Phillips.
He kind of does look like Emo Phillips.
He does got the thing,
No, but he has a collection of stories. The guy's like still in L.A.
Yeah.
He's a restaurateur. He's owned a bunch of, like, he owned like a Middle Eastern deli at one point.
Yeah.
After he got out of like doing kid acting.
Yeah.
He didn't really do any acting, but he's a restaurateur. He's owned different places that were quite successful, little bars, and even in 2019, I think he made some sports bar called like Stadium Club.
Yeah,
and he's like,
but they only served beer and deviled ham.
Exactly. But it's just like I don't know why I became obsessed with it. I guess because I saw him on a podcast. Somebody was interviewing him. I go, hey, that's that kid from the Devil. I knew exactly who it was. I go, that's the Devil Food. Deviled ham kid.
That's the ham devil right there.
That's the goddamn ham.
Well, you know your obsession thing?
Yeah.
I've got the same thing with a movie now. Now, I'm a big movie guy. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I don't watch any TV. I hate TV. I hate shows. I'll try to watch a little clips of news, but I tune that out now. I've done that for about a year. The movie you've got to see, it's an independent. You might have seen it already. It's called, this is funny after the Fairvilla people, but the movie is called Hundreds of Beavers.
Okay.
Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay. It is an independent film. It's totally done with a little camera, and most of it is all graphic. It's black and white. It's a silent movie. There's only really 5 characters, but the animals in the movie, the beavers, are humans in beaver costumes, and it's the most geniusly stupid movie ever, or the most stupidly genius movie. But I think both you guys would love it.
Here's the trailer.
Yeah, do the trailer.
Here's a little trailer of Hundreds of Beavers. No way, Joe.
That was
I'm sorry, Joe.
That was the intro bit. That's
Joe,
the intro
I'm
bit.
out. I'm already out. I'm
Okay.
sorry, Joe. I'm already out.
Our attention spans
Casey
are,
walked out. Casey walked out.
Yeah.
Your son walked out of the show.
Give it 20 minutes, because I will tell you this. The first time I saw it, I'm always willing to try a new movie, and I give it 20 minutes.
Give it 2 hours. Yeah. That's all we're asking.
Well, I
you.
was stoned. I was stoned off my I did like 4 gummies.
Oh, yeah. This would be great with some gummies.
But it's like a Warner Brothers cartoon on steroids and acid, both at the time. Give it 20 minutes. I think both of you, there are plenty of people won't like it, but I give it 20 minutes.
Okay.
So
I mean, right now.
I'm in.
You guys aren't doing anything right.
now I know you like the Three Stooges, Jeff.
Yeah. This is way beyond. And here's the deal. I watched it stoned, and I went, okay, was that just because I was so high? So I watched it again, not high, laughed my ass off. Then I said, okay, I need to try. So I brought Casey in. Casey?
Yep.
Be nice.
You know what it reminds me of? Red Green.
Red Green.
Do you remember Red Green?
I do, but...
Okay, Red Green is a Canadian show. It's was Canadian Public Broadcasting.
Yeah.
It was about a camp wannabe con or something. Like it's like a lodge.
Yeah, yeah.
In somewhere in Canada, and Red Green is he's a member of the lodge, and he's a member of this small town, and he fixes everything in the town with duct tape, and it's like he's like a ragtag wilderness Canadian.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And and they do these type of like almost a tip of the hat
Yeah.
vaudeville sketches where, and there is an art to it where
Yeah.
everybody's running around a little faster.
Yeah.
You're mimicking like big exaggerated movements.
There's a lot of miming.
Yeah, a lot of slapstick.
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
falling
People
down.
are trapped in their boxes.
Yeah, a lot of like accidentally falling over, but not.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, like he almost like went on the point.
That
of
could have
the,
went really bad right
yeah,
there.
Like, oh, I could have stabbed my eye, but I didn't, and I'm not talking for 2 hours.
And maybe I don't have any respect for the miming skill.
You don't.
Like when I
Do you
see it,
know
I'm
that
just like, I see what you're doing.
He has
but I don't
always
respect it.
hated anything that's like slightly, like if it's slightly artistic, he's like, get it out
Yeah.
of here.
Well, I'm kind of with you.
Yeah, get it out of here. No
I'm with
words,
you.
get it out
It's
of
like
here.
you're pressing the fake wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you on the mime thing. But this is slapstick of old school. But here's the deal: give it 20 minutes, and if you don't laugh in 20 minutes, then haul ass. But
Then eat a gummy.
you're sitting there. You know the punchline's coming. You know something's coming, but it's always a swerve. It's a slapstick swerve.
Okay,
Just-
well, now I see why Jeff likes it.
A swerve stick, if you will.
He loves looking at the
I got
punchline.
one.
He's taking your place
Oh,
with me.
He already has.
This guy.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
but
chat
look.
room is saying that, and I'm glad SJ realized, there's a segment on Red Green that's this style. The
okay, good,
Adventures with Bill. It's
Yeah.
that style of like, and I'm down to watch it.
But
I'll
anyway,
watch it.
I didn't mean to hijack the show, but you were
should.
obsessed. I'm obsessed with this movie. But now I can't watch it by myself. I have to watch it with another person.
Do you watch a lot of movies?
Oh, I watch movies all the time.
Do you watch the Oscar movies and all? Do you keep up-
No, I hate all. Well, except for the ones like Poor Things. I did that.
That's because you're horny.
Yeah, that has movies in it.
Yeah,
I don't think that.
That's that one greasy girl. She's always naked in there, right?
Yeah,
You got
but
the
I-
greasy hair. I'm like, wash her hair.
Yeah, I don't like her
Scrub her.
look. Yeah, even
Why
when
is she so greasy?
when she isn't greasy, I
poor.
don't like her look. But
Yeah, why are poor people so greasy? God,
They don't like showers.
God, you poor people are ruining my weird, no strings attached sex with your greasiness.
It's weird. Showers are cheap.
I know.
yeah.
Casey, where are you going to be at? I know the.
Oh, he's got a paper. I love it.
You're going to be at some sort of.
The Linda Bird thing,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Crimson House.
Not
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
a good job.
Yeah. No, it sounds like you nailed it. Yeah, come check me out wherever that is. No, I'm in the Crimson House in New Smyrna on Saturday,
right,
2 to
that's a
It's a good
5.
bar. Good spot, man. Well, it's nicer than a bar. It's
Yeah.
like a.
It's great. You've been there, right?
I have not.
Oh, you
but
gotta go.
I've seen photos. Obviously, everybody that I know
Oh, it's an
has
awesome
been there.
spot.
Yeah,
Try
good
to
spot.
go within the next month because it does. It's mostly the outdoor thing, and it gets so hot
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
summer. So go when it's really not, but it's beautiful. He'll be there Saturday from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock.
Nice.
Now,
And
make sure the owner pays you beforehand. Just has some
Those radio
experience.
people, right?
Yeah,
I-
just
I-
tell-
I
just
will-
telling you
You
from
may not
experience.
have heard earlier, but comedy is back.
yeah, on his first night that he played there, I went. I just went there to just kind of hang out, and
To kill the vibe.
Yeah, and it was kind of rainy, so it was a sparse crowd. So Linda Bird came and sat at my table, and we just reminisced. Now, me and Linda Bird,
Who are you?
we never
You're
had
the one that quit.
yeah, we never had any problem because the show was from 11 to 3, okay? I got to the station at 10:55, and I was on I-4 at 3:02.
Yeah.
Okay? So I never had any problem with it, but she sat there and she goes, I said, so you had a lot of fun those years. She goes, oh, my God. I wanted to fire Drunky. I wanted to fire Daniel. I wanted to fire Russ. I wanted to fire Bubba. And I just sat there drinking going, God, thank God I'm drinking for free.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well-
I'm sure we were a topic of conversation now and again. I'm sure my name came up a few times.
But she likes you. She likes you.
3 out of 4 ain't bad.
Hey, that's a song. In the top 3.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this guy.
All right, so Crimson House Saturday.
Crimson House.
I think that means
Saturday.
they want us out. Yeah.
Tuesday I'll be at the Whiskey on Sand Lake Road from 9 to midnight.
Nice.
And April the 6th, I'll at Tibby's New Orleans Kitchen in Winter
Yeah.
Park
I
doing
love
brunch
Tibby's.
there from 11 to 2.
The drunkest I ever got in my life, like recently, was at Tibby's.
And
Because they would
Tibby's
turnpike beers because
Oh,
they have
yeah.
those Mardi Gras glasses.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
the big
And then-
chalices.
And then they fill it up with like, you'd fill it up with just like a regular ice cold beer.
Yeah.
And then you turnpike it, you pour ice cold vodka into the beer, and it mixes. and you can't taste the vodka. It just tastes like beer.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you're throwing up in your wife's car.
Yeah. It's so I'd say 6 of the 10 times that I started drinking after quitting was at Tibby's where they put
It's a
those
fun place to drink.
those schooners, those frozen schooners
They're
out
great.
with filled up with the Vitas.
Great place to quit quitting.
Yeah, well, that, I don't know, man. Like I am a sucker for those dumb glasses they got. I love those glasses.
Yeah,
man.
and
They're-
the food is so
yeah, the
amazing.
food's phenomenal.
Well, Jeff, Casey, thanks so
it's
much
good to
for
see
coming
you
by.
guys.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks
Always
for
a blast.
coming in, you guys.
And Casey, where can people follow your social media to find out where you're playing?
You can find me at CaseyHowell.com or on Facebook.
All right.
Yeah, just Casey Howell Music
Casey
on
Howell.
Facebook or Casey Howell.
There
Awesome.
you go.
Well, guys, we'll see you again soon.
Okay,
yeah.
I've got another movie that I'd like to throw you.
We can watch it right now if we're not doing anything.
Could you spell out the URL for me?
This is 12s of Beavers.
We'll end with 10 minutes of a silent movie.
Never been done. Never been
We
done.
could do it.
Yeah, we could do it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you in a minute.
Love you guys.
Welcome to Corporate Tom and Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
We've got our BDM Appreciation Week coming up in April, and we have the BDM Appreciation Party on April 19th.
Yeah. Are you not a BDM? You can sign up at tomanddan.com/registration. Everything is on there. You can see the love meter. Then the coolest thing is that you get instant access to the BDM Appreciation Party, and I think you've really done a lot of work on this one, man.
You also can get access to the BDM shows that we do every Monday that we've been doing for over 10 years, and you can go to the website and have access to the entire catalog from day one.
Indeed.
If you want 10,000 hours of extra podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, you probably don't
Which
need it, considering the amount of podcasts that are out there. You don't need that.
It'd be insane if
Yeah.
you're like, I need to hear more Tom and Dan.
You probably don't.
10,000
Yeah.
hours.
In fact, we're actively pulling back. I might go in there and delete a few of the shows
Although
just for fun.
I did see someone say they left their phone and then they now couldn't listen to us on the
On the plane flight.
Yeah, plane flight.
Yeah, that was Rebecca,
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
Rebecca. She's
Yeah.
listened to
You know
so
what?
many
When I
shows.
saw that, I was like, "You idiot, Rebecca! How could you be so stupid?"
So this, okay.
You made this happen.
We may
right?
be playing with fire here.
No, but hold on a second. You made this happen through your new series of pinball networking events.
Okay.
That you start right? Am I right?
All right, let me explain how we know this next guest.
Yeah, our next guest, sure.
We did a Twitch pinball meetup
Yes.
about 3 weeks ago.
Maybe 4 weeks or so.
And basically, Daniel came up with the idea, and because of our great sponsors,
I didn't come up with the idea.
Not-
Don't
dot
ever
net,
say I did that. I never did that.
and Andrew from Pinball Dudes came by and brought a bunch of pinball machines,
He
set
did.
them up in the studio. We took the couches and everything out
Yeah.
front. We got some White Claws and
Yeah,
beers.
we rednecked it up a little bit in Baldwin Park.
Daniel got some super expensive pizza, which I saw the bill.
Yeah. What do you think of that? I spent $300
I was like,
on
just get a
pizza.
Papa John's.
No, I spent $300 on pizza.
So I was like, God, they want to
Hell
eat
yeah.
Papa
But
John's.
did you know they ate it all? They ate every bite.
Oh,
And they-
because that was $300.
Yeah, it was delicious.
And I was like, oh, that's more than I spent on the booze.
Yeah, it was. Shout out to Black Magic Pizza, my favorite pizza. I love that place.
So anyway, and it was weird for us because when we first got to our studio, we were always like, I don't know, it's me and Daniel's nature to fly below the radar and you
Not
know,
gonna make fun of that.
I was waiting for it.
We're gonna do it. But I had to say something to let you know that I was giving you a pass.
I was about to say beneath.
Me and Tom like to fly beneath the clouds.
And so we never really advertised that we're here, right?
No.
So that was the first time that
the only thing that you would know that we're here, I put a tiny magnet in there because I got tired of people not knowing where we're at. So I needed something so people.
it could be like, oh, Tom and Dan.
Oh yeah, they're here. You know.
Yeah, like a guest that come in, and
Yeah.
you know that. So Daniel put a tiny little sticker, but other than that, like you know, we're basically hidden away.
Yeah,
No one really knows.
We are tucked away.
But
Curtains are all closed.
the day we opened up the doors and had like an open house,
Yeah.
then our neighbors started coming like, "What's this?
Hey,
what's going on
happening
here?"
We had all these people in here, people walking in, getting a beer, walking around, have a glass of
There's
wine.
potential sponsors,
Yeah.
like the sponsors walking by. They're like, "I'll give you money." So I'm like,
Yeah,
"What?"
I never never knew you were here. I want to make you rich.
9 years we've been here.
Yeah.
9 years.
9 years we've been here.
And just
We've seen
flying beneath.
Do you know how many nail salons we've seen come and go at this joint?
Oh yeah.
How many nail salons come and go? This one, I don't know if they're there. Sometimes they're there. Sometimes they're not there.
I wish Asian massage parlor would have moved in. That's the one thing I've been waiting for.
Oh my god!
Like they had nails and Pilates.
Can
and I'm
you
like,
imagine on the way out of here?
a lot of fair people, which brings our next
when
guest.
my marriage falls apart.
Because our guest came walking by,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Oh, I didn't know you guys are over here. What are you guys doing?"
Yeah,
She's
we're like, we like to fly beneath the radar.
And we've got Colette Fehr here. How you doing, Colette?
I'm great.
Very
Thanks
good
for
to
having
see you.
me.
Thank
Good
you
to
for
see
being here,
too.
Colette.
And so Colette's like, I've been. How long have you been next door, by the way?
5 years.
Okay,
So you
5
hear us
years.
screaming.
Never. I've heard some wild noises from this side of the wall. I
Oh, yeah,
will
that's
say.
me.
I don't know what's going on
That's
in
me.
here.
You probably hear a little bit of this. You hear a little bit of that? That get you going?
And I've
hear
heard
a little
like
bit of that?
thumping and
Well, get on the thumper.
I used to wonder what the hell is going on in that other suite. I had no idea.
I'm
it
the
was
thumper
a
and
podcast.
Tom's Bambi.
And you run a counseling center,
Well,
marriage counseling.
I am the center. Yes.
Okay.
So I have a
Dig
private
it.
practice,
All
and
right.
I have a private practice as a marriage counselor, and I share the suite with another therapist.
Oh, you're trying to
So-
scam free marriage counseling. This guy's constantly trying to bring people in here and get them to do their specialty for him for free.
Because
I
if you
think
do it
that's
on the-
smart.
if
I
you-
think he calls it.
Well, that's why I like you,
I
Colette.
believe he calls it beneath.
Beneath the
It's the
radar.
beneath technique. It's beneath technique.
Yeah. This is my. I can run a business school out of here.
Yeah, it's the beneath.
I teach you the one, the 2 to 2, but the
three,
beneath.
the 3, and the beneath.
Anyway, let's do a little weird job.
All right. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, Weird Job Wednesday on deck. Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dad really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Have you ever looked into anybody's face while this song is playing?
No, it's awkward.
I love it. I am loving it.
Yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. We're almost done, I promise, Colette.
No, I'm enthralled.
Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom.
So the
It's not done yet. Thank you.
So
Have a
the-
little respect, man. Jeez Louise.
Now, the reason why this is dangerous is Colette is our neighbor.
Yeah.
So if this went horribly
yeah,
wrong,
yeah.
then I can never show up to work again. Because
Yeah.
what if Colette's standing outside
Yeah.
and then I come into work and then she's I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah.
And then
I don't know if you know this, but the lady next door that owns there's a spa-ish thing.
Yeah.
I met her outside. She happens to be very beautiful. And when we were talking, and she goes, "Oh, hi, I'm your neighbor." And I was like, "Oh, I know. I've been hearing nothing but good things." And she goes, "Well, what have you heard?"
Yeah, she called us
She called my
BS.
bluff.
That's
She
called
called my bluff, and I froze.
calling a chirper's BS.
Yeah, she called my BS, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say to her. I was like, "I got nothing. You're so beautiful."
So Colette, you told us a little bit about what you do, marriage counseling.
Yes.
How does that start? Do you
A man and a woman.
that
Not
counseling part.
necessarily.
Oh, that's true.
actually.
That's true. We got different ones now.
Right.
So you were a counselor before, I guess, and then you specialized in.
Yeah, and it is really a weird job, genuinely. So I'm also chuckling at the song, just thinking about people are fascinated by this job, and everybody does want to kind of get a little bit of free advice from me for sure. So that's just normal and a very good business strategy at that. But I went to grad school at Rollins about 15, 16 years ago. And I knew I wanted to be a couples therapist because I had a really bad divorce when I was super young at 30 years old. I had 2 baby daughters. They were 3 and 1. So that's not anybody's cup of tea, right?
It's a lot going on.
A lot going on. And in fact, I'm doing a TEDx talk next week, and I'm going to talk about this in my TEDx talk, a little bit my personal story that motivated me to be a counselor. I didn't know what I didn't know back then, but I dated a guy from 18, got married, did all the steps that you're supposed to do, 30 years ago. And then our whole marriage just blew up and we couldn't find good help. So when I got divorced and found myself pretty penniless, literally, having to mother 2 children and needing a job, I decided I wanted to go back to grad school and become a couples counselor so I could help other people. Not that I think every relationship needs to be saved, but so that the ones that wanted to save their relationship could find the help they need.
All right.
Some would say that I saved my relationship because of how truly I cherish it. I truly
That's the best way.
use the word save. I, quote, save my relationship because I keep it too close to my heart.
So,
Boom roasted.
Colette, when it comes to like couples counseling, right?
Yeah.
I feel like once it gets to that point,
I have always thought that once a woman is made up her mind,
Yep.
that there's no going
There's
back
truth
on that.
to that.
Yeah.
There's truth to that.
And just the fact that it seems almost like a last resort to a lot of people, where it's like almost it's doomed as soon as they walk through the door. Have you found that to be true, or
that's a good question.
can it be saved?
It's a great question, and let me bust a myth because I do think that's what everyone thinks. And actually, there's a reason for it. I think it used to be the old school way that people came to counseling as a last resort. What I find is actually the opposite. Increasingly in today's world, people are choosing to come to couples therapy even proactively. They want to feel more connected. They want to be even deeper than they've been. They want to polish their communication. So I see a lot of that. And among the people who come in because they're on the brink of divorce, if there's still love, there's still life. And I have a lot of success with people, even who are really close to divorce.
Tom tries to polish his communication in the bathroom, but his wife is banging on the door. Like, get on, what are you doing in there? He's like,
That's definitely a human moment.
I'm polishing my communication in here.
So now, okay, I'm curious to like the average, I guess, age that you see come in. And
are you trying to figure out when your marriage is going to fall apart?
Well,
because you're trying to say, like, what is the average age of people that you get in your practice where it's falling apart, and then you're going to compare that to you, and then you'll figure out how many years you have left before you have to go see somebody?
No. Well, because I think
you're reverse engineering.
No. I made it past the like the threshold.
Yes.
Where now,
like a business, like we've already had our business longer than 5 years.
Yes.
So I told
You're
my
clear.
wife.
So
I told
even
my
if
wife, I was like, they don't think I'll never die now.
I'll be dead before we run out of money.
Yeah.
Because it'll just keep
It's a
eking
set it and
in.
forget it.
You just
you
keep
know?
billing them.
Maybe you've heard of a little thing called inertia.
Yeah, most people forget. Well, we get to the point where it doesn't even matter. At
too
this
big
point.
to fail.
Yeah, that by time it,
No such thing in marriage
You're
counseling.
right. You're absolutely correct.
there'll be people still paying for BDM memberships after me and Daniel have been dead because they'll forget.
Oh,
Anyway.
I want that so bad.
So
It's like me sending Gene Hackman a Christmas card.
that's how I look at my marriage. Is at this point in time, it's been so long that the both of us are like, all right, what are we gonna do now? We've been it's too long, too much.
Yeah.
There's too many roots and entangled.
Too many roots.
And like we're too lazy to move.
So it's plane,
And-
trains, and automobiles. It's we might as well work together.
There's actually a lot of truth to that too.
Yeah.
A lot of people are staying married because they're so deeply rooted and entwined.
Oh, I love that.
And there's about, in my opinion, this is anecdotal, but I would tell you that about 10% of people are really just happy. And
10% only.
10% of people who are married. I mean, marriage is a complicated thing. It's in a way an outdated institution, even though we're biologically wired to bond.
Outdated?
Well, it's outdated in the sense that you have to be married for economic reasons, because that's how it all originated. You know, it's definitely good and healthy to partner because we do better in life. And in fact, we know we live longer. And along the lines of what you're saying, it actually is over 70% of divorces are initiated by women. And they're mostly initiated because they don't feel emotionally connected to their partners. Because of how society in many ways used to raise and condition men to not be in touch with feelings and to be expressive. And that's changing.
That means the power is back in the power's back with me, the titty baby. Right?
There you go.
I thought you could.
You don't need me. You have it all figured out.
Power's back with me, King Titty Baby.
You said it twice. So Colette, and by age of like what your clients, I mean like age of a relationship.
Yes.
And because do you see
7-year itch?
Okay, is that a true thing?
I mean, I think there's probably truth to it, but really what's interesting, even I'm surprised a bit by who's most often in my office. I will get people who are even premarital that they just want to be really, really good and set up for a good long marriage that lasts.
Yeah.
I'll get people around that 7-year mark. The biggest time is 2 things though. Right after having kids, for those who have kids, that is the hardest time in a marriage. And then the other big phase is that I have a lot of people at the empty nest stage.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be me.
Yep. Yeah.
And my wife's like, "What are we gonna do when the kids
about
leave?"
You guys talk about it on your social media all the time. They're like, they're almost gone. They're leaving us. And I'm like,
I don't
you
talk
guys
about it.
You guys gotta calm the F down. They're losing their
Well,
mind.
she says she's like, "Then I'll be stuck with you, an old man, miserable old man, just stomping
and
around
he
here,
bicks his pubes.
not talking to me, just out there
Yeah,
playing
just
with his
old
plants."
slick pubes out there with his plants.
You think I want to be stuck with an old lady yelling at me all the time?
I know.
That's what we're saying.
Right.
Oh my God, you'll be like Gene Hackman and his Asian wife.
Yeah.
Oh my God, let's hope
Then
you don't
she
end
dead,
up like
and then I'm
that.
Oh my God, I'll be begging to fall over and hit a window. And
Is that not so depressing, that story?
I thought it was beautiful. That's the way I want to die. I want to die not knowing I'm dying, wandering
Or
in my
that your
house.
wife's dead.
Yeah, not
and
knowing.
turning into a bloated
Yeah, I don't know.
carcass.
I don't know
I'm
she's
trying
dead.
to eat my bologna sandwich. It stings. in
Yeah,
here.
I want my wife being like my wife is bloating in another room.
And you're blissfully unaware.
And I'm just walking around looking, and everything I see is I'm seeing it for the first time. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, look at that, that's awesome.
I will wish that for you.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll manifest that.
And then day 4, I'm like, "Oh, I'm glad that dog stopped barking."
You don't have to worry about that one either.
That's 4 days of annoyance.
Neighbor must have given him a treat.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
Colette.
sorry. Let's get
No,
back
I
on
love
topic.
it. I love it.
Back on topic.
So you get new couples. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Where like, and could you imagine being drug in by your fiance? You're like, let's go to pre-marriage counseling.
I mean,
I'm like, oh my
not to blow
God.
up their spot, but I do see them out here all the time.
I
when
know, I bet.
When I park, and
Yeah.
you can tell the new ones. There's some very attractive, very hip, cool-looking young people that you can tell are brand new married, and you can tell that they're not having problems. It does seem like they're going there as like it's like going to the gym.
Yep.
They're like, it's no
Exactly. different
than me going and running. I'm going with my wife to talk to this woman, this professional, helper,
Yeah.
to guide me in our communication, polishing the communication. I
Yep.
get it, yeah.
Yep.
And you see them out here all the time.
Yeah, you see them on the sidewalk,
Yep.
right? Like after
Because they'll
session.
talk afterwards.
Yes.
After the session,
Yes.
and then they go off to work.
Yes,
I
and
see
you know
'em.
what else I notice? That I joke often with clients, but it's really true. You can almost tell how good the marriage is by how they position themselves on the couch when they come in. Like when I have premarital couples, they sit close, they're touching.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're holding hands. There's little affectionate
I usually
glances.
69 my wife on a new couch. I have to do it. I have to test
That
the couch.
hasn't happened yet in my office,
It's fully
but never
clothed.
say
It's
never.
a fully clothed 69.
That's how they just lay
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
So they sit and talk to
And
you.
I find if it's difficult for you to hear me, I will angle my mouth so like out of her bush so you
I'm
can
pretty
understand.
sure that would violate the counseling code of ethics. But you know
Yeah.
what? There are
Well,
sex
then maybe you're not the
therapists.
person for me. Maybe I need to find somebody that
Right.
will take
Can't
me
hop
as I
over
am.
next door.
I need somebody who'll take me as I am.
So, Colette, people ask me all the time
Yeah.
for marriage advice because I've been married so long, right?
How many years have you been married?
Somewhere between
Did you
15
say,
and
"Hiya"?
18.
Hiya, why?
I think like 17, maybe.
He's close to 20 years.
18.
Okay.
And nobody asked him for a marriage advice, but I'll play along. That's never happened.
Why not? I have been married for 17
Yeah.
years. No one's ever asked me one time.
Yeah. And you guys
One
are tight.
time.
I mean, you argue like you fight like dogs, but I also feel like you pump like dogs. I feel like I
There's
feel like
something to that too.
I feel like they love hard too. I feel like you love hard.
Yeah.
And I usually tell them this. It seems by just evidence of me living that it helps if your wife is like put off by your general personality and who you are as a man.
Yeah. It's a strength if your wife thinks you're disgusting. Is that
yeah. Or not disgusting. She's just annoyed by your point of views
Yeah.
and how you go about things.
Yep.
And where you put things and the constant asking her where things are.
Yeah. Gene Hackman.
Well, and actually, there's a name for that.
And they lived a Romeo and Juliet.
Did we just have her in to figure out that you and I are just versions of Gene Hackman?
Yeah. A sadder Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Fast poison was easier to swallow. Anyway, so what do you say about that? Where
Opposites?
Being too lovey seems suspicious to me. Like
Yeah.
when a couple, especially an older couple, they're like hugging, affectionate all the time. They're not
There's a
yelling at
couple
each
in
other.
town. There's like a pseudo-famous couple in town that are a little older,
Yeah.
and they are on social media actively, and they're always lovey-dovey a little bit,
Yeah.
and it angers
Oh
me.
yeah, if you see a couple
Yeah.
too lovey-dovey on social media,
Yeah.
they hate each other.
All right.
I mean that's just all that highlight reel BS.
Yeah.
You know that I think there's the thou doth protest too much. I do
Yes.
think there are couples that are genuinely loving and affectionate, but you know what you're referring to is a real thing: normal marital hatred or normal marital contempt. And therapists will joke about it. You know, there is something to you live in this great degree of intimacy and you get to know someone in some ways more than you even want to, right? I mean, you joke about being in the bathroom, but we do see our spouses shaving and clipping and trimming and farting
This
and
guy
burping.
bicks it down.
Yeah,
I say this to every
yeah.
guest.
Telling
I'm
people
kidding.
that
Well, this is I'm stopping it. It stops
Twice
today.
a week, you tell people.
Yeah, you bick it
Strangers.
down twice a week.
There's our neighbor.
No one should do that.
Neighbor.
No one should. No
I have to
grown
walk
man.
past our neighbor.
There's no mystery.
No grown man should do that.
No mystery.
No, it's my personal preference.
No,
Just
it's
leave
disgusting.
me alone. You don't bring it out anything else. I
disgusting.
don't bring up your personal hygiene habits.
But
Sorry,
we
Colette.
get
I don't
no-
wash my
no-
hands after I go poo.
Oh my god.
I don't.
You know, you don't really
And I'm
need
sure
to, I
your
feel.
wife
Because
loves that.
Yeah, because I don't wipe.
And I'm sure your wife, that's your wife's favorite quality. But seriously, even if we take the bathroom part out of it, people are annoying, right? And
Yep.
so you get annoyed with anyone you have that much intimacy with. You love them, you feel comfortable, but they get on your nerves. So there is a real thing to just normal marital, like, do you have to chew? I mean, my husband's like, am I allowed to eat? Can I breathe? Am I breathing the wrong way? And there's something to it where I'm like, oh, you're making noise, right? Yeah, you snoring too loud.
Yeah.
So I do think that this can be just part of, it is just
What if
part
just
of a
like
normal
every
marriage.
idea that comes out of her mouth is just like, it's so stupid.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
am I like, another
Yeah.
dumb idea again.
Well, so Colette, let's talk about, and you brought it up at the beginning, like traditions and in what we look at marital traditions in the United States may not fit what like is good for your own human psychology.
Right.
And it's like there's one standard tradition that everybody should shoehorn themselves into, and that seems ridiculous, you know? Like even I knew a couple and they were married for a long time, 30 years. And they lived in separate houses.
Yes.
Like, because they met each
Yes.
other and they lived on the same street. And then they decided just to keep their separate houses.
Yes.
And they would stay together sometimes or whatever, but they would sometimes just live separately. And it worked for them. So why not? And then, but people would be like, oh, well, no, there's something weird going on.
Judgy.
And it's like, what are you talking about? And they lived a happy marriage for 30 years or whatever.
Yeah,
And
unfortunately, like homeschooled kids, we gotta make fun of you. I'm sorry. I'm not. Even if it works for you, you're weird, and I have to make fun of you. I don't care if it works for you. I gotta make fun of you.
So how often do you see that, or even suggest to people like, hey, maybe the traditional marriage relationship isn't for you, and you should try something alternative?
Absolutely. And I'm so glad you brought that up because there's a big shift happening with people choosing to live separately, and it is working for a lot of people, but it also
Sounds
is weird.
gay to me.
Yeah, I mean it's not conventional, right? And I think there's a lot of judgment by society still about the way things should go. But really, if it works for the two of you, a couple is an ecosystem. And if it works in your ecosystem, then there's nothing wrong with it. There shouldn't be so many rules, because think about even this. We live so long now. I mean, I'm 51, used to be dead by my age. So a marriage would last. You'd marry someone to breed children, to work the family farm and consolidate resources, and then you were dead by 35 to 40.
Yeah, from a toothache, because
Right.
we didn't have
Right,
antibiotics.
exactly.
Don't say that, I
So
have a
now
tooth.
we're living to 100, and you're going to change so many times throughout that lifetime. Plus, we have people who are married second and third times, fourth times. If you're 60 years old, let's just say your spouse died and you were happily married and you fall in love again. Maybe you don't want to leave your house. Maybe you're comfortable there. And if you have the economic resources, that's a big linchpin of a lot of this. The more resources you have, the more choices. Maybe you can afford to live in two homes. I mean, I've had couples who they don't spend that much time together and they're so happy. And then I have couples who are attached at the hip. It's really about what works for you. But the number one factor really has to be that you feel safely and deeply connected to your partner in some way. And then the rest is gravy.
You know, my
Then
wife
you and
is
I are
always
nailing it. I would seriously say we are, because we're still together. I wouldn't say it's perfect.
Yeah.
But I would say I can't think of anybody that would rather be with you than Crystal, and vice versa with Andrea. Like, honestly,
Yes.
Yeah, but
like,
That says a lot.
But all the time, Crystal, like I'm just minding my business, listening to my podcast, going about my day. And then
But
Crystal's
that's
like,
how she is.
we need to go on a date to get connected again. I feel like I'm living with a roommate.
That's what I said to Andrea. That's what I said to Andrea.
Yeah.
And I'm like, going connected?
Yeah.
What
I
do
told
you
Andrea.
mean?
I told Andrea this hip replacement. If she doesn't do something down there pretty soon, I'm gonna go in crazy.
I was like, what do you mean?
I gotta have sex with a bad hip. I'm losing my mind.
She didn't mean sex. I'm like, I'm ready for that anytime. I'm right now.
Well,
anytime.
my wife doesn't want to
That's
offer
another
it.
thing, too.
My wife's too afraid that I'm gonna break in half.
Then
I'm so weak.
And then she's like, I can't do it unless I'm connected to you. And then I'm like, oh my
like-
God.
like a
Okay,
knob-
but that's a real thing.
Oh, you gotta get a
That's
Navi
like I
tail.
gotta do.
You gotta get a Navi tail.
No,
Have
I
you
wish
seen
it was that
Avatar?
easy.
Have you seen
I
Avatar?
connect my
have, but I
tail
don't
with
even
anything.
remember anything but the people
Avatar.
were blue.
It's got to be
No,
this.
they put their tails together.
Oh,
for-
that's right. I do
Yeah.
remember
No,
that.
it's
You gotta
gotta
put
be-
your ass next to your wife's ass.
No, I wish it was that easy.
Have you tried it?
No, it's got to be a long, drawn
Right,
out.
right.
I got to make her laugh, and we
Yeah.
got to talk,
Make
her
connect.
laugh.
Do
You
it
got to
all-
schmooze it up.
Yeah,
I
this
make my
whole
laugh
thing.
every day. You don't make your wife laugh.
Yeah, but it's more than that. with
It
her.
is more than
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But you know what's so great, Tom? Your wife is telling you, she's communicating, and she's saying, we need a date night. Like, I want to feel more connected. Doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong, but she, first of all, is longing for connection with you, which means she still loves you and she's still invested.
Told you.
And then she's communicating about it. I mean, the biggest problem is that people avoid communication because they don't want to fight. And women
That's
and
Tom.
men.
That's Tommy.
connect
Avoids
differently.
communication.
I
Don't
love
wanna
that.
fight. She's a beautiful, sensitive, overly
I'll
communicative woman.
I'll avoid everything.
Well, and that's, I mean,
I
I
love
think that's
avoidance.
Avoid myself.
people do love avoidance, and men tend to connect more through sex, and women tend to connect more
Yeah.
through verbosity.
You want me to remember something like, oh, you're supposed to put the laundry in the dryer. Have sex with me. I'll
right,
remember
and
it.
then I'll remember. I
Exactly.
think that's a great strategy.
If I was gay, it'd be so easy.
it would.
Yeah.
Actually, it is. That's
Yeah.
Well,
what
I know it is.
That's what my
If we
male
were
gay
gay-
couples have figured
Yeah, I know
out.
they tell
Everybody
me.
wants to screw all day.
Yeah,
If
that's what they say.
If we didn't
And
find
then
each
just
other
drink while
disgusting,
yeah.
if we
But
didn't find
women-
each other disgusting during the breaks, we could have sex and we'd
I
have the
know.
top 10 podcast in the world.
God, I
You
wish
would.
I was
You'd be
gay.
dominating.
I'd be like, God, I don't feel,
I
I'm
get
not
so much
into it
done.
today. You're like, let me have sex with you. I mean,
But
I feel-
women need to feel emotionally, for the most part. I mean, I'm painting a broad brushstroke, but there's truth to it. And if you think about the times in life when couples struggle most with marriage and divorce, coinciding with having children, an empty nest also coincides with when you're the busiest, women are the most stressed, going through hormonal fluctuations, and then empty nest, menopause. And women, desire and arousal work differently in men and women. Men have preset sexual desire, meaning for the most part, whether their equipment works or not, they're ready to go at all times. If I went home right now and told my husband, I want to have sex, he would clear out whatever is happening in his life to make that happen, and he's ready to go. go.
That's a good
Yeah,
patriot.
like me.
That's a good
Right,
American man.
page me when you're
that
ready.
guy, I want
But
that guy on the front
women
line.
wanna-
Take a couple
women
pills.
need
It's fine
to-
though. It's easy now.
I mean, even if you have to take a couple pills,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
women are not having a
Well, I gotta
preset
get a pump
desire.
out. Mine's a little different. I
That-
gotta go to the closet. I
nothing
gotta get a
wrong
pump.
with
I gotta
that.
check the batteries.
Yeah.
Make sure. Oh, you forgot to recharge it. Go get the hand pump.
It's
Then I gotta.
two-stroke.
I need an attachment.
Well,
then I
and
gotta-
again, even if you have to go through all of these,
Yeah.
hoops, you want to have sex as a man
Take
kind
a
of all
shot,
the time.
put a shot into
Women
the base.
need to be aroused in order to want to have sex. We're not thinking about sex. We are thinking about caretaking and,
Boring.
I mean,
Caretaking. I never think about caretaking, but I think about anal all the time.
You're making my point. Yes. So women have to be like brought into arousal through physical touch, through conversation, through connection,
You're gonna
through
lose the conversation.
romance.
Well, touch one you might have.
So much work.
I'll give
That's
you
why
touch.
the gays are always ready.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
I'll give
easy.
you touch, but
Yes.
the conversation. What would you say if you were really? You can't even do it, can you? If you were actually
What?
trying to role play and say something like to start the evening off, what do you start with saying to Crystal?
Ask her about her.
You know, what do you say? Do you go, "Oh,
Yeah.
you look so beautiful tonight," or like, what do you say?
No, I was just like, hey, what?
Hey yo, like Razor Ramon for the WWF.
Oh my God.
Hey yo.
Just talk about whatever. I don't know what they like. Colette, why are you putting me on the spot?
No, he did it. He did it.
Why are you yelling at our guest? She's so
yelling at
nice.
the
Well, you let it happen,
I love
Colette.
having her in. She's great. We've never had somebody that can help us with the relationships. This is like 10 years in the making, man.
So, okay,
I love it.
let's go back to the actual job
Yeah.
Yes.
of a relationship
Yes.
counselor,
Please.
because this is where I'm curious about. Where
How do you find a specialty? Like, how do you
So-
decide couples? Because therapy is huge. I
Yeah.
mean, what a big
Yeah.
box.
Yeah.
How do you decide couples?
And you kind of mentioned it with your own divorce
Yeah.
young, and you're like, I want to make sure this doesn't happen to other people, right?
But also, I think the pace of it appeals to me. Couples therapy is really different from individual therapy. Individual therapy is mostly listening and providing some targeted feedback and asking questions. Couples therapy, there's a lot of energy in the room.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are
Does
dysregulated.
it get heated sometimes? Do
Yeah,
You, do you
but
have to?
I have to manage that.
Yeah, is that hard?
Yes.
Colette,
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
one time my wife made me go to couples therapy because she's like, I'm tired. tired of the way
Seeing
you
a
are.
pattern. I'm seeing a
Yeah,
pattern.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then I was like, fine, we'll go, whatever.
Which
I'm like,
is the best response? If your wife asks you to go,
Go.
no, yell fine.
If your wife asks you to go, go.
So,
Yeah.
so then
I like it when the husband asks the wife to go and she says no. Oh, that's sad.
oh,
so-
that means it's over.
so-
yeah, that's so sad.
So here's what I did, Colette. So when I
you
got
wore
in
your
there,
chic costume.
I was the chic.
He has a costume like where he dresses up like the Iron Sheik. It's
I love it.
very racist.
So when
Role play is good.
When I got in there, I was like, I know what this,
You're like, show me your bum.
Yeah, because it was another woman, and they're like, it's 2 against 1. I know what they're trying to do here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the therapist on my side, and
Yeah, so I'm gonna lie.
I'm gonna tell her whatever she wants to hear.
Yep.
So then the therapist are like, this guy's got the goods. What are
Yeah.
you so mad about,
You're
lady?
the problem, lady.
Yeah. And then that's what happened, and she never went back because she was mad at the lady for taking my side, and I won.
Do you have a lot of men that try to manipulate you into taking their side? Is that a thing?
So I do think it's a thing out there, but I
Yeah.
will tell you that surprisingly, what I hear a lot from men is I thought this was going to be awful, and I can't believe how much I'm getting out of it. I don't.
Tom will never say that.
You might
I'll bet
be-
my
you
daughter's
might
life on it.
be
I'll literally
amazed.
put her on a slab with someone standing over her with a dagger.
Yeah, whatever I think, my mind won't change.
You might be surprised. But you listen, men want to feel connected to their wives too. Their methods might be different, but everyone wants connection.
You need that.
Uh,
right?
yes,
You said it.
Yes, everyone wants it. We may have different ways of trying to connect, but everyone wants that. What I do think is that most men don't choose to come to counseling. I will have sometimes the man is reaching out. Usually when like there's some kind of crisis, there's been infidelity or something, or he doesn't want the relationship to end and thinks it's at risk.
Gotcha.
But for the most part, it's women. And then I don't take sides. It's about really facilitating understanding what's happening more deeply inside of you and how you can articulate that better. So if anybody feels judged in my office, I would hope they would feel safe enough to tell me that, because that should not be happening.
Gotcha.
So, Colette, when you have clients and
Yeah.
they come in, what is the frequency that you usually suggest to people?
Yeah.
Like, is it once a week, once a month? And then how long? And then is there
I
a
like
ti-
to go about every 3 hours. Intensive.
Intensive.
And then is it just go on like periods of hiatus where it's like, hey, if you ever need to come back in,
This is why it's never going to work for you.
No.
You're already talking about the end. You haven't
Well, I
even
love
solved
the end.
I know, but he hasn't even
When
solved
are
the
we
marriage.
done?
Yeah, when are we done? Like, I can read you like a book, dude. You're already like, how many of these I got to do? Which is not the
But
guy.
people ask that all the time. How long is this going to take?
It's like me and my hip. I'm like 6 weeks. Oh, please hurry up. You can't do it like that.
Oh, well, the end is the only way, the only beginning.
The end is the only.
The end is the beginning.
I love
Actually,
that.
there's
I love
truth
it.
to that. But it's a great question. Really, I suggest every week or every other week. You're not going to get anywhere with the type of therapy I do, which is emotionally focused couples therapy. It is the evidence-based gold standard in couples treatment. And it's all about the attachment bond. It will not work if you don't have at least that frequency at the beginning. However, the goal is always, I joke with people, but it's true. I want to be fired as soon as possible, right? Because then I've done my job well.
Well, you've met your right client.
Yeah.
Trust me, this
Little
guy will
did I
fire you
know my
faster than
perfect client
he'll
was
fire
next
you
door.
faster
What?
than any other client you've
Okay,
ever had.
because this was going to ask you because it always confused me. And let's go dentistry. Like the dentist is like, you're not flossing enough. You're not whatever. And then I'm
Right.
like, well, don't you want me to not floss enough? That keeps you in business, right? If I was flossing 3 times a day, I'd never even come here.
You should say, great job. I'll let your teeth rot. I'll fix them up.
Yeah. Like, shouldn't you be pushing candy on me and then like dissuading me from flossing?
You are a wild man.
No, I'm just saying. So for you, like, if
You understand that your 2 neighbors are insane, right?
I
Like,
love
you,
it.
You get that now.
I actually love it.
Well, I was just saying, if I was a marriage counselor and I get these this couple in, like I don't want them to cure it too quickly because I need their
let's
money.
stretch it out a little bit.
And even throw in something and be like,
Hey, Hank, why don't you yell at her one more week and then we'll dial back on the anger.
Be like, hey, sometimes you gotta hit them. I don't know. Whatever. Sean Connery.
Walpole Jr.
Just to keep, because I need the money's coming in forever, Colette.
I don't think she's that type of.
I'm not that type, but I will tell you too, it's so easy. It's easy to always have new clients. I mean, everyone's in a relationship at some point in their life. We all want them to be good. So I'm never thinking like that. First of all, it's not ethical, even though I can understand that thought process. It's a healthcare profession, right? We're there to serve. It's a mission-driven business. I want people to get better, and I do want them out of my office because I want them to go live their life. And there's a queue of people lined up to come in.
And
so it doesn't
success,
matter.
I'm sure success
the thing.
stories breed more business because if someone, like sees their friends or family going through some troubles, they're like, hey, this person helped me.
I built my whole business word of mouth.
Yeah.
But it never really was about making money. I mean, you have to pay your bills and stuff. So I'm not trying to act like I'm a martyr, but it's always been something I care deeply about. And the job is so hard that the successes are really what you thrive on, like helping people feel that their relationship is a source of safety and comfort and connection and joy is so rewarding.
I feel terrified and trapped in my relationship.
So I
That's
got,
how a lot of people feel.
well, I got 2 questions for you then.
Yeah.
One is, have you ever suggested that maybe it's just not a good fit?
Such a good question.
Are you gonna set up?
Because like
Are you gonna?
they're
set
trying
up
to save something.
Are you
and
gonna
you're-
have her give you a divorce? I want a divorce too. Hold on, you're not doing that.
Well,
Without meeting your wives, let me tell you,
Yeah.
you should get a divorce.
You're not getting a free divorce from Colette. I'm on that train.
A
too.
couples therapist told me I need to divorce
Yeah.
you. No, but it's a great question because, and actually, people ask me.
Hold
this
on, he
all
likes
the
to
time.
say, "I know it." Say it. Go ahead. I'll let.
All right. Well, I said it in my head already.
All right. He likes to say, "I know it is." Colette.
We know what Tom's thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, so really, people ask me to tell them a lot. Like, should we stay together? People want somebody to help them because it's so confusing when it's not working and you're suffering and
And
you're
it's got to
in
break
pain.
your heart too if you see almost almost like an unattainable and not real version of their addicted. They're almost addicted to the relationship, right?
Yeah.
Like,
A lot of times people are trauma bonded. They're addicted to chaos. Listen, here's the science part of it. It is so hard to end an attachment, even if you're not happy. Once you're connected to somebody on any level, nature really incentivizes us to form bonds so we live longer.
That's what we try to do with our listeners. You guys got to stay here and keep giving us your
there's
money.
truth to that. People are bonded to you, right? So it's very hard to end a relationship, but the interesting thing is it's really not ethical, and I would never tell anyone whether they should part ways or not. I am not an expert in their life. Everybody's very different. I don't live in your shoes where I know the consequences you'll face or what it will be like for you to part. So the way I approach it is this. I do have my own opinion usually in my head. But if you want your relationship, then I want to help you make your relationship work.
That makes sense to me.
If you're ambivalent, then let's figure that out, that ambivalence. If you want your relationship to end, then I want to help you end your relationship in a way that feels, yes, exactly. That's not going to cause more harm and injury.
Well,
interesting.
Before we leave.
Because you may not even know what you need
right
when you get there.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, can I just say one more thing though about that?
Yeah.
Because I just had this couple recently where they finally decided after a long marriage and a lot of effort that they probably needed to end it.
Gene Hackman.
And and they didn't want to end it that way.
No.
But they have to own that decision. But in my head, I really thought, and I don't think this that often, that they would be better off not together in light of the different variables. And they asked me for my opinion, and I gave it. I said they'd already made the decision.
And I hope you whispered, I think you should have a kid.
That'll fix it. That's Tom Van Therapist's idea.
Have a child, number 1. Number 2, try swinging. Number 3, big black bull.
And those things had already been tried. No. But no, I'm kidding. But, in this case, I had to also weigh do I think what I say is going to be helpful and healing, or do I think what I say is going to be harmful? And if it's going to be harmful, even if it's my opinion, then I'm not going to get it.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because it's
kinda
do
like
no harm first.
You're there almost as like you're to help, but it's a passive help. You're not pushing people in any direction.
No, exactly. I have no agenda.
So
interesting.
What's interesting to me is I always look at the broad, the societal look at marriage and like we know the stats, right?
Yeah.
So it's like 50% of marriages
don't work out.
And you're like 50%?
Yeah.
And we keep
Coin
doing
flip.
it. We have and it's like
flip.
in what other
Insanity.
in what other instance in society does we keep doing something where 50% of the time, like, how ridiculous that is?
I
Like,
think
that's a lot. We're
Right.
not talking like 20% would still be a lot, but this is half.
But to me, it shows you how rare and how truly unique and precious a good relationship is.
I agree.
Because so many people idolize it. Even to this day, it's still got that much legacy power, right?
Yep.
That people want to belong to it because it's been romanticized to a point where it's almost like it's a dream. It's a beautiful
I
dream.
we look at old couples that are
Yeah.
like 70 years marriage,
Yeah.
and we're like, oh, I wish I.
It's almost
I
an
never look at
impossible, but I think a lot of people do.
Everyone wants it.
Probably
Everyone
skews
wants
a
it.
little more female if I'm just trying to pick the stereotype. I think, and that's fading. I
But
think,
and do you know that men actually get more out of marriage than women?
I would believe that.
The research
because
shows
they turn into our nurse. Dana's already experiencing
Hey,
it.
but you see
That's
my
what I
walker.
want.
You're looking at my walker right here.
men want to be taken care of.
Marry all
Yeah. And my daughter naturally is like my wife, and my daughter's been taking care of me. My dauher put my pants back on yesterday. God bless her. She's 9
My
years
wife's
old.
always like, she's like, what are you? It's gonna happen. I'm living with a old man with Alzheimer's in here that forgets who he is all the time.
Gene Hackman.
And all roads lead back
I'm like,
to
why are
Gene
you thinking
Hackman.
like that? I'm like, that's what you're looking forward to.
His wife also said on a show very early on, and it's burned into my brain, pardon the pun, but she said that if you were horribly burned in a car accident and you were disgusting, that she would leave you because she couldn't lay beside you.
Oh my
knowing
God.
that
I
you were,
agreed with her.
He
Like,
did.
well, of course
Yeah.
you would.
Yeah.
I would too.
Yeah.
And then she's like, how dare
If
you?
you look
I'm
like
why you
Toxic
just told me
Avenger.
Oh
that?
yeah, my ex-husband once told me that if I one time asked him when we were very young if I were a quadriplegic, like if I were in an
Oh,
accident.
young questions are great.
Yeah, and if he would leave me, and he was like, "Well," and I was like, "You have to think about it."
Yeah.
Well, the
This
thought
is
was,
not good.
well, your mouth still works.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably why he hesitated.
Yeah, that's exactly where I went. You give it 1 second for mouth and move on.
So Colette, real quick. So
You are awesome. Thanks for being
you.
such a good
So-
sport, because the listeners have wanted like a relationship person in here for quite some time, and I hope that maybe you do this again.
Of course, I'll come back
maybe,
anytime.
Maybe the listeners could even, if they have questions, not to get
Yes.
free stuff, but like light stuff you want to kick around, or maybe
Totally.
Yeah,
you
what's
want
your
Colette
business?
to get you started.
So my business is Colette J. Fehr Counseling Services, but the best website for me is ColetteJaneFehr.com. Please reach out. I mean, obviously, I can't do any counseling via email, but I'm happy to answer questions, curiosities, anything.
Now, if you go to Colette and accidentally walk into our office, I'll do the counseling.
Yeah, you
half
get
off.
free. You get free count.
No, half off. Free.
I'm not a businessman. I just want to have fun. I just do this for fun.
You sit down with your wife. I'll tell you what to
I
do.
think it
I know
depends what
just as
kind
much.
of counseling you want,
No,
which door you choose.
I can do it.
Yeah.
Like, you start telling me your problems, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, he can definitely do it. He's great.
Yeah.
And
you
your
can
podcast.
put me out of it. Oh, yes, my podcast.
Yeah, plug your
Thank
podcast.
you. So I have a podcast called Insights from the Couch, and it is mental health at midlife. We're geared primarily toward women, but we have a ton of male listeners, actually, surprisingly to us. We talk about everything: relationships, sex, menopause, career, life transitions.
I hear you,
meaning and
girl.
purpose.
I'm pre-mini right now, and I'm going wild. Can't regulate
Pre-mini?
I'm pre-mini right now.
Pre-mini?
I cannot regulate my heat. I got to get my progesterone dialed in.
There you go.
Oh,
You're
my
right.
God.
You're right.
Good Lord. 1 minute I'm hot, next minute I'm cold. 1 minute I'm horny, and the next minute I'm as just tight clam.
You know what? I'm going to switch. I don't want to hear where Aaron Rodgers is going. I want to hear about menopause.
Oh my God. One of my male friends routinely makes fun of me. He's like, I'm going to do a shot at work every time I hear you say menopause.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
But a lot of men are enjoying it because it's illuminating things about their wives. And we talk about issues just from an existential perspective.
You know, I thought when I was young and I was like menopause, your period goes away. I was like, yes.
I did
but, then,
too.
Right.
but then you're
But
like,
do you have no
it
sex drive?
It comes with a bunch of.
I thought menopause was Asian Santa Claus or something. Hey, menopause. That's the dumbest thing I've ever said.
No, I think it's hysterical.
Thanks so much for coming by.
Yeah,
We
appreciate you.
Thanks for being our neighbor and putting up with Daniel's
Yeah.
bullhorn
Scream.
every
Oh,
day.
yeah.
It was-
I love
and a
knowing
scream.
what the noises are about now.
We'll give you a bullhorn blast on out of here.
There's some weirdos that will come in here
Yeah.
and walk out here.
we've had we've had Jelly Roll in here. Are you familiar with country music
yes.
superstar? Did you know he eats his boogers?
Oh my God, shut up.
At the UFC fight,
tell
he was
everybody about it.
behind our current president, Donald J. And Jelly Roll back there just housing boogers.
Wow, I'm sure Jelly Roll will love the fact that you're
Yeah.
talking about this yet again.
We had him in here. I talk about it every day.
I
have
love
to.
it.
Just like my big pubes.
Yeah, there's two things that really bother me: you picking your pubes and Jelly Roll eating boogers.
We'll send Jelly Roll over next door if he needs help with that.
Let's reverse it. Let's have Jelly Roll pick his pubes and you eat your boogers.
All right, we got to get out of here.
Yeah, we
Colette,
do.
thanks again.
Thanks for having me.
And-